and final. That will be 6 games tomorrow. Anything can happen as day 3 of the summer skirmish qualifiers. And as you can see, a look at that crowd. It is a packed house. This crowd keeps growing each night.
Every single night's bigger than the last, Jack.
I think it means we're doing something pretty good.
I hope so. I hope
Absolutely. So. My name is Jack Courage Dunlop. I'm joined by Ben.
Dr. Lupo.
Still considering if he's actually a doctor, Dr. Lupo.
Jack, don't question it, all right? It's official. It's on the internet.
I don't know if that's actually allowed, like, legally.
I don't think it is. Let's not talk about it.
Either way, we're ready to have some fun here tonight. All the registration, everything, the early mornings, those are done. Tonight we figure out our final 33 players who will be competing tomorrow in the $1.5 million grand final. That will be 6 games tomorrow. Anything can happen, as we've seen, and tonight we have some heavy hitters participating.
I'm excited to watch. We've had 7 weeks before this of incredible gameplay.
Yep.
The total over 8 weeks for Summer Skirmish, $8 million, and it all comes down to this. We've seen a ton of big names over the course of the last few days. Some progressing on, some eliminated early, and we've seen a lot of seen some outliers, some underdogs almost that have risen up, and I love seeing that. Anybody can win this thing, Jack.
Well, I can promise you some fan favorites will be participating tonight. We've got the schedule to take a look at, though, of how it will all break down. What we've seen today, it began with 3 different heats. That determined our players who will compete tonight in our qualifiers. Again, 33 players from this evening will head to the grand finals tomorrow. Some of the names playing, I mean, let's see, Nick Merckx, a little Liquid Chat, maybe a little Tfue, who knows? There's the format, though. 2 matches earlier today in the heats. Tonight, though, will be 4 games. And Ben, you see the rule set there. Break that down for the viewers at home for me.
Now, not only is elimination count important, but placement is as well, and that's kind of molded the way that some of these competitive players are determining how to approach engagements. 3 to 4 elims is 1 point, 5 to 6 is 2, and if you hit 7 or more, that's 3 points. On top of that, a top 10 placement is 1 point.
Damage though before he's able to get the wall down.
Start building those chambers out of shots.
Day 3 of the summer skirmish qualifiers, and as you can see, a look at that crowd. It is a packed house. This crowd keeps growing each night.
Every single night's bigger than the last, Jack.
I think it means we're doing something. Going to be, I think, the craziest night of competition we've had to this point. I think it's setting a little bit of a tone, but you know what? Right now, I just heard some beautiful sounds in my ear. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle bus is about to take off. Game number 1 starts right now. There you go. Make some noise. Who will qualify for tomorrow's $1.5 million grand finals? Folks, there are some heavy hitters, as we just saw in tonight's competition, and it is finally here.
Now, we've got a number of players jumping out early, going to that bottom left corner. This is actually the heaviest we've seen an over-the-water drop. Players trying to get as low as possible so they can open the chute as late as they can. The idea there, trying to hit, there's a couple buildings down there with chest spawns early. Greasy Grove is an easy drop there, or even Flush Factory. You see, it looks like a pair. You see kind of spin around in the air looking at each other to do some tracking there. Tilted Towers, the home of Nick Merckx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players dropping in there. But everywhere, as we've seen, it's going to be populated. There's going to be players playing outside of POIs. Early trap from Nick Merckx, as we were saying, a player to watch. People have seen him quite a bit, and it feels natural here.
I would go as far as to say Nick Merckx knows that middle gray building in Tilted better than literally anyone in the world. He lands here every single game he plays. This is his home, essentially. He will navigate Tilted Towers better than arguably anyone out there. We'll take off his perspective for a second and swap on around, as there's a lot of engagements going on around the map. You see here, Wheels, Rex, Slang, all getting involved early on.
Now, you were mentioning Nick Merckx, just to use him as an example, but there's a number of players that are like this. People have drop locations that they trend to, and competitive players, they're going to learn that about their opponents before they come into games like this. So I would almost guarantee you that people that are dropping there, they know what a play there. The tack shotgun, green tack, a pair of shots there secure the first elimination for Rex, but he's not done yet. He's got the remainder of a 1v1 here. He's at 54 HP. That tack comes in big and gets Wheels for the double.
Wow, that last crit right there saves him, as Rex was 1 bullet away from getting dropped early on, but now 2 elims. And remember, we've got to stress the points, how it all works. If you get 3 elims, you earn yourself a point. 3 to 4. 5 to 6 elims is 2 points. 7 plus elims is 3. If you place in the top 10, you earn 1 point. If you get second or third, you get 2. And if you earn the Victory Royale, it's a +3. Godvat on your screen, he just earned himself an elimination. You saw Hysteria actually nearby with full HP, but now it looks like we're heading out over to Retail Row where multiple players are stacking on up with some big engagements about to begin.
So Kairos in the southwest corner of Retail. This is a pretty common drop. If you're looking to push into Retail because you see a number of players move in there, these two houses out here are a good spot to hit. There's a lot of brick. There are a ton of just stray trees you can pick up, and I believe 3 chest spawns, 2 or 3 chest spawns in those 2 buildings. And if nobody else goes, there's confident ammo. But right here, the third partying on Frankie, TK.
For people at home, explain the term third partying for someone maybe tuning in for the first time.
So 2 players are in a 1v1 situation. Maybe they're build battling. Maybe like you saw there, they're in kind of a medium range fight where they've both built mini bases just to establish some layers between the opponents. And a third player enters the engagement from kind of a side angle, almost an angle that isn't going to get seen initially. They take shots at just the right time to try and secure one of the eliminations, which is exactly what you saw Sakairos do here, but he's got to box himself in because his opponent has the top-down advantage. Those pyramids to block ramp pushes courage are super important, especially the timing. You can catch people almost inside. Now, that edit, do you want to talk about how dirty that edit was?
That was a nice little play there. He moved and began to run to the opposite side of the ramp and then rotated it and then drop him on that opposite side. He's trying to break down his top structure because he's out of materials. Does tag his opponent once there, continuing to use that pickaxe, and he's realizing no mats. He's got to try to drop his opponent down to his level. Will it work? There it is. Can't quite hit a shot there as he is blocked yet again. The fadeaway. Won't have an opportunity there. Just continuing to use this pickaxe. Now he's got him on his level. This is his chance. Sakairos can't get it.
Loses track of Pupper in the middle of all the building.
As Pupper gets the elim.
Back and tilted. Joker Untamed pushing on his opponent right now. Gets whiffs shot, gets lavish with a follow-up. And you saw there, he ended with 1 HP. You saw it going down at the bottom.
Just, again, show off just how much I know about Fortnite. You actually can't get weaker than having just 1 HP. That's the lowest amount of health you can have.
Jack, you're not wrong.
There you go.
Not wrong.
You're welcome. That's why I paid.
Established in the UI building. Like over here, to set that destroys. Kev is at the sports complex to the west of Tilted, but he's not alone there. Jalakaias is hiding underneath, and they're going to do a little bit of creeping. The audio cues, super important. Even editing, speedy edits as he's trying to get up above. Could have just built one ramp, but instead double edits on the way through.
Look at this zone.
A lot of players. Hopefully they're seeing this. They have 2 minutes and 52 seconds to start making a push because this zone is way west side. Snobby, greasy, tilted, even pleasant and maybe haunted with shifty shafts in there. This is centered on literally who we're watching right now. They're smack dab in the middle.
I'm actually really surprised to see him going for so many hand cannon shots. Does get tagged up quite a little bit. Yeah, that was maybe hoping you get a quick little one shot there. Won't work out.
Especially with materials that he's sitting on right now. Probably would have been safer to go for some like a ramp wall and then just crouch and stand up and peek and take a shot and re-crouch to hide behind. Just an update for everybody. Pupper and Rex both currently have 2 eliminations, but nobody has more than that, which means nobody's got a point yet. 3 is the bottom end for that.
Here's a replay near Haunted Hills. Diabolic.
This is Christo.
When you got that much HP, you think you're going to basically win any engagement you're in, especially when your opponent has just about 100 to use. The zone closing on in. We mentioned just how far west this zone is. Going to force everyone on the east side of the map, from Retail, Tomato Temple, Risky Reels, Paradise Palms, Salty Springs, to make some moves west. And when you got that river in the middle, there's a lot of gatekeeping opportunity here, Dr. Lupo, to be able to kind of shoot down on your opponents and maybe pick up some free elims.
Now, information just for people watching home, all of the Cloud9 players that didn't qualify yesterday are in this today, which means the entire roster could still end up in the grand finals tomorrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of big teams, too, Liquid Champ, I saw the feed a moment ago, got his first elimination. Misfits taking out 42, which is too bad. I believe he was at 2 eliminations, one elim away from a point, but got cut early. We're still 60+ remaining, so there's no points for 42 MTU. Just yet. Kev trying to take shots.
Gosh, he's just praying that hand cannon hits.
He's been wrong. I don't blame him. The thing hits like a bus.
Oh,
if
well,
you
I mean,
with
one
it.
shot's
Yeah,
case
exactly.
in this scenario. Kev's just going to go for this one, though. At some point, you think he's using a lot for this fight. When will this engagement finally come to a close? They're one level away from each other. Kev's still hunting, still hoping it can work out. You see bouncing up and down, trying to look for the best area to engage from. Only 90 mats, and these are these early game fights that some of the top players talk about. Not having the chance to farm, not having the chance to loot. Basically, it's nothing left to his name. There's the limb finally.
But on the rotation, I was almost expecting at some point, if he pinpointed his location with audio, to drop off the top, maybe suffer a little bit of fall damage, but catches opponent off guard with an immediate shotgun shot.
And look at that. The second the limb comes in, it just starts hitting whatever materials there are. Here's Rio.
Sentinel already has 2 players in the grand finals as well. This would put him at 3 if Rio does extremely well today. And it looks like he's got the determination for it. Kyle 182 going down. Puts him at an elimination.
And here's Chap. One a limb to his name to this point. Absolute beast in Fortnite from everything I've seen from competing against him here. Just does get tagged on up, so only 87 HP.
Look at his materials already, though.
And that's what Liquid are best at. And I'm wondering, oh my gosh, what can you buy with... I was wondering what you could buy with those slurp juices there.
Sure, we'll see here in a second.
Machine.
This is his first elimination earlier. Those shotgun shots, the accuracy, even from up top on Bearded Dirt down below him.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So he actually does purchase a slurp for wood. So that's, for me, a great investment when you're down to just 87 health. Remember, the slurp was updated recently. It's no longer just, 25 health and shield. It now gives you 75 in total. Starts with your HP. So they're at 87 health. He'll wind up getting 13 HP, and then the rest of that 75 winds up going in to his shield, so he'll finish with about 62 shield there as well.
Now, Courage, I'm going to try and think off the top of my head. I believe it's maybe it's like a 4x4 or 5x4 base, number of squares that this building takes up. Nick Merckx has not left that building yet. He hasn't left that 20 square area.
And that was Chap who actually just ran right past him. What an engagement that would have been if it was Chap versus Nick. But here you go, Chap and he build engagement now, trying to stay above his opponent.
He actually ended up in the same box and had to fall out to save himself. He's going to drop down. Are you kidding me?
That's confidence. That's confidence. Stops and is it impulse time? I believe so. He's going to look to just reset this fight, get away. If you heard, the opponent he was in the build battle with started getting tagged from a third-party engagement. Didn't want to have to deal with any of that. He'll go ahead, get away. He's actually burned through all of his wood now, down to just 60 left.
You saw his loadout, Courage. He had a blue AR, a green suppressed SMG, you can see right there, and the heavy shotgun. And out of that box that he opened, that he pulled the impulse nades from, there was a gold heavy sniper. Would you have picked it up and dropped potentially the blue AR?
Listen, Chap knows better than I do. You could have potentially done it, but at the same time, maybe it's not his play style that he's going with. Another vending machine purchase.
This is Ashen. His partner Jack has already qualified. The shots out here at Lazy Links, accuracy, mid-air accuracy with SMGs, even a gray doesn't matter. They're hitting a shot.
The swap weapon is so key. With the way that the meta of the game is right now, if you're running a shotgun, you want that quick little spray weapon you can go to. You take, hopefully, that shotgun shot, get some high damage. If not, you swap on over to that SMG to finish off the elimination. Chap now back up to 300 plus wood, 900 plus brick. I believe he might have gotten a second elim there. Now sitting at 2, so Chap just one elimination away from earning himself a point. That would be a fantastic start for one of the high-profile players here in the qualifiers tonight.
Now, I want to say I still think that the gold heavy snipe, picking it up in this situation, especially with how slow he's potentially seen other players play during the previous 2 days of qualifiers, just getting a 150 damage shot on someone on the move means potentially
it's Tfue.
It's Tfue up top. Chap
versus Tfue is the fight going on now here, folks. Who will come out on top? Tfue was just tagged by a third party, so he's got no shields left. Chap playing from the low ground right now. These are 2 of the best Fortnite players in the world. It's what this competition is all about. Chap now beginning to build on up, looking to match the height of Tfue, or he just disengaged here.
He's moving past and looking to box himself in. He's building multiple layers to this little catacomb to make it so that Tfue can't track which building he's in.
Yep.
You have a number of these little 1x1 chambers attached to each other, and players are going to have trouble watching. He's got multiple layers, and he has the edit right now, so we can look through. He's looking through the wood planks. He's trying to find Tfue in the structure that he's in. You see there, the edit. He can see it already, even though there's a ramp in the way, so he's still safe, and the nade bounces off.
That grenade's actually going to drop a bunch of Chap's structure. Here's Tfue now, 1 a limb to this point. Has a good amount of materials right now, just trying to keep those grenades going on in, and he's actually got 3 more in his inventory, so he's just going to continue to lob these on out, hope to knock down some of these opponents nearby.
You see there, he noticed he made a mistake and did not close the wall up, so he re-edited the ramp that he was standing on that he closed off the wall, close off the ramp again. Try to keep the layers between you and an opponent, because you don't know, chat might have explosives as well. He could pre-fire a rocket and then laser down the single wall that might be separating him. So that's a smart play from Tfue to close his own build off.
And now he's beginning to move early because this next zone was revealed. He knows he's got to move a little bit closer towards Snobby Shores.
This is so
This is
far
the furthest west zone you could possibly have at this point, folks. So everyone continuing to move in this direction. You see Chap disengaged. You've also got Tenpo on your screen. Nick Merckx is still alive. He needs 1 more limb for a point. Here's his opportunity here. Will Nick Merckx get on the board early on? One of the top console players in the world, one of the biggest names out there, and he's got 2 players below him, both without shields, but even for Nick, he's quite low on HP himself. He's going to keep this high ground for the moment. Blue drum gun in hand.
While they were swapping weapons in that spectate view, Kayun did have a double barrel, which we've seen used all the time, constantly, especially in these close fights like this, because Kirk up close, if you're within basically bludgeon range.
Nick wants this right now.
One shot.
He's trying to make it happen. Grenade launcher now being used. Nick Merckx going back towards the high ground. I think he needs to make sure he's got himself a floor that he can potentially bounce pad with in case this structure gets knocked down. He knows there's someone just 1 tier below. Again, folks, if he gets a 3rd of limb right here, he will earn himself a point, and 1 point has been enough for multiple players to qualify in the previous nights. Kayun is so weak, but Nick doesn't know. He's going to try to peek that out. Is this his chance? No! The wall blocks the shot. And he's still got a player close to him who's got a ton of health. High amount of hit points. The zone is here. This is kind of an all-in. This is an all-in from Nick. I think he's going to bounce pad. He's going for it all, folks. It's going to get dramatic here towards these moments. No!
He got caught out, pinched between 2 players, the one underneath him and Kayun, who is
and look at how
back
weak
at
he
26.
26 health.
Would have taken 1 shot. Rio, as we were watching earlier, he's at 2 eliminations as well. By the way, Flower, a fellow road member, did hit 4 eliminations, which means he has 1 point already.
And Kayun, who just eliminated Nick, that was his 3rd limb, so he will be on the board as well.
Energy General has 3 eliminations. Rec has 3 eliminations. Misfits GG Gyre from Misfits has 3 eliminations. So there's only 5 players out of this with 1 elim at this point. You see on your screen right there, and 3 of those are already eliminated. So we have 2 left that have 1 point right now. Yep. A lot of 2s on the board that have already been eliminated, and 4 players right there. You saw Godvet, Diabolic, Rio, and Chap are sitting on 2 right now.
And this is something we've seen a lot from players, running just 2 weapons, maybe a drum gun and a shotgun, and keeping a high amount of heals. That's what Rio's doing right now. This was General. Found 1 right here. Hello, my friend. And
there's his first.
Sniffed out a 2nd here nearby. Yeah, there it was. Boom. That was how Flower was eliminated.
Jack, I don't think it's tough to sniff out the grenade explosions there. And you saw actually a swap from the... you tend to favor the heavy shotgun, but he immediately picked up the double barrel.
Now I might be running the double barrel of how
players are they're definitely showing how powerful a weapon like that can be in competitive gameplay. Like this, that the top 10 means a point, and players are going to play slow. They're going to stack on top of each other and get very close.
So right now you're seeing Kayun, who still has found 0 heals in the last 5 to 7 minutes. What is the thought process right now with this little amount of HP?
I think catching a player rotating is extremely important. You see, he probably won't make too many moves until he knows that maybe potential targets or opponents are already engaged with someone else. He's going to wait to strike. If you move too early, you're going to be the one that gets caught off guard. You're going to be the one that people have their eyes on. You also don't want to engage anybody. You only have 26 HP. So the second that you're essentially sending up a signal flare to say, hey, I'm here, please shoot at me.
So Babe Jesus now in the build battle with Dat Muffins. Muffins 1 elimination away from a point as well. You're going to hear us stress that a lot tonight, folks, because again, 1 point from our last couple nights of qualifiers was enough to get our 33rd, our last qualified person in. As Muffins just edits the window, gonna peek on out, see what he can spot, maybe get a free tag here with that first shot accuracy. He's got the double barrel, he's got 2 med kits, he's got minis, but here's the one thing he's really missing, Ben. Materials, down to just 70 in total that he can build with.
Now, for people that you won't be able to see this just yet, but right now, the white circle, the next safe zone where everybody's gonna have to move in 2 seconds, 2/3 of the players are already in there.
Yeah.
Only 7 are remaining outside the safe zone, so there's not a whole lot of movement that has to come in. Looks like Snobby Shores was established by what was left of the player base for this game very early. You're going to see a lot of people like Tfue, very good at it. I think Nick Merckx called this a spaceship at one point, building these bases up high to get a top-down view on people. Look at these edits, too.
And this is a very Tfue-esque type play style right here, Ben. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna survive until the end, go for a victory royale. He's not someone that's going to be dropping 12 limbs. He'll finish the game with whatever he needs to get a point on the board. Here's Colton, who won Heat 1 earlier on. A great use of the frag grenade there to pick up the elim.
The timing to blow up the built materials and then immediately just shoot in as he sees his opponent move. That kind of timing is key. That's forethought.
Yep. Now, as this game continues to move on, remember, top 10 earn a point. We're at 19 players remaining right now. Everyone in the lobby thinking, hey, I see survive a little bit longer to get a free point on the board.
This is a third-party opportunity, and then some. You got 2 players literally mixing it up on top of each other. Crunch has the LMG just spraying to see if he can land any shot. That LMG not super accurate from the distance.
There's 2 players in this.
And there's one.
Eliminates one. Crunch, I think he wants to follow this up right now.
2 eliminations that put him 1 point, 1 elimination away from a point. Just bombing rockets, and he's blown through those explosive rounds very quick. The rocket ammo, which typically you see held onto until late, but right now he's so focused on getting this elimination that it doesn't matter.
I think he goes for this now.
Point.
He got
tags on him. There's
he
no
got
more
tags. He knows this player is under 100 health, and it's time now for Crunch to go for this. He's getting third party yet again. He's got a ton of materials. I mean, look at this: 900 plus wood, 800 plus metal. But he wants this elim right now, trying to make sure his opponent can't pop any minis to heal themselves. It's 4 and 5 just below him. 18 players left. Remember, top 10 earn a point.
The edits are so fast. It looks like there might be a couple stumbles as he's trying to take a corner out, or just the top line of 3 on a wall, and it's maybe getting a little flustered in there because he knows he's got somebody else watching him in this engagement. He wants to secure the elimination on someone, like you said, he knows he's weak already, so if somebody beats him to it, that misses out on that elim and potentially puts himself in a bad position against whoever's watching.
Well, Crunch is still bouncing around, going for these quick edits, looking through these walls, knows there's someone just below. Here comes the zone. People gonna have to move. There's Sean pushing forward. Tenpo still alive with maxed HP. Colton, who we've been talking a lot about so far today, gone, playing the high ground.
The position in the next zone is potentially going to start scraping a few players off. Not too many. It's on the side of the hill.
Yep.
I mean, you hear the traps going down just to prevent people from kind of infesting the structure that has already been built. You're going to see people on the southwest side is already empty because everybody kind of had to shift with that bottom level outside of the mountain.
So right there, he was actually trying to connect his build to the mountain again to make sure that if the bottom was shot out, he would still have another layer to protect him. I don't think he got it off. Here comes General and Colton, though, moving on in. Everyone trying to make it out of the zone. Their little boat down to just 15 HP. Tenpo still quite healthy. Look at everyone hiding in these builds. Chap and Tfue, they just moved in next to each other. They're neighbors.
Yet again.
He's about to ask if he's got extra salt left over. He's up for a recipe tonight.
Chap's looking for a 30 limit. Might end up being Tfue. We'll have to see here in a minute. The next circle is going to force everybody to move. You see the mini map in the top right. Everybody's going to go southwest. Plus, it's very uphill.
That's the thing. It's also uphill on this mountain. And whenever we see these zones on these mountains, Lupo, many people typically drop. This is going to be one where I predict we don't know our top 10. Like, we're still at 18 people. It's been 2 minutes and 42 seconds since the last time someone was eliminated. But I can promise you, the Storm is about to take matters into its own hands and have people get dropped left and right.
A stat that really highlights how top down, how close combat engaged. Like that shot right there, Chaos Gun gets the elimination with a shotgun as his opponent pushes up. But the longest range elimination thus far this game is 123 meters.
Yeah, and there you go. Storm just drops someone. Colton and Base Soldier each get a limb. Colton then dropped to the zone. Here comes the builds from everybody. Tfue still in this one. 12 players remaining. Top 10 earn a point. Will Tfue strike with a point early on here? You've got to think he's probably chasing Chap up this mountain as he's trying to keep on his level. One player close. Tfue going for the engagement. Won't find it yet. It's Chap taking down Tfue, and you see the smile there as he looks over. And Chap's not done yet. He gets a second elim there, putting him at 4. My goodness, Chap showing up big here in game one.
The next circle is going to be worse. Chad getting dropped down to fall. He only has 30 left. He's got to box himself in and take every second. The second he has an opportunity to heal courage, he's got to go for it, because the fall damage combined with people taking shots from all over the place and just kind of how they look like little beehives attached to the side of this mountain.
Yep.
Now the next rotation won't be as risky. And here you go. This is Chad from just a moment ago. This is the bait. He saw it coming. That was switch.
That was Tfue getting eliminated in 11th, which means he doesn't get the point. That was him with two. He had what, 2 elims and was in 11th. So if Tfue eliminates Chap there, he gets 2 points and arguably guarantees himself a spot tomorrow. Heartbreaking for FaZe Tfue fans out there.
He's got 3 more rounds though. Jack, it's not over yet. 6 players left. Chap, you're watching here with 4 eliminations of his own. 1 more gets him to 2 points.
He's got no mats. He's got to go for this. There's one. Hello, Chap.
Are you kidding me?
Chap. Can this man be stopped? 6 elims now. Top 3. There's another point as well.
Now, Tempo, one of his opponents above him, well known for being exceptional at this game. You're going to have to watch out for this little 1v1 here, especially, I mean, Chap only has 2 builds. You hear the C4 going out too. Here comes the structure coming down. He's going to have to stay on his toes, watch for the edits you see above him. Now might be the time. If he's going for another third party, he's going to take shots. He's going to try and see if he can get a drop right there. Go for the shotty shot. He's going to try and drop the surface out. He has enough ammunition courage to do anything that he can to get him to fall down on top of him. Only 75 HP though. He does have 2 traps left.
He's got to break through manually to get to this point. He had it! Tempo says, hello, my friend Chap. It's time to take a break for game 2. OT Divine versus Tempo. Divine has 0 elims. You saw Tempo just eliminate Chap. The shot's coming down range. He's out of builds, and he wanted to drop down, but then the trap went off, and he's got to wait. Whoa, I can't do that yet. Trying to spray on in. 2 players left. It all comes down to this. Tempo drops Divine to just 17 HP. There's the elim, and there's the win. Tempo, congratulations. 4 eliminations, the victory royale. A monster game 1 from him.
Now, a number of times, even the last 2 days, we saw Tempo come into these qualifiers, and maybe the thought was take a different approach. You can even see here just some quality replacements.
Look at the builds he still had left. 700 wood.
Get into the teeth.
Wow. Congratulations, Tempo. In that victory royale, you see all smiles on his face. He knows just how big that is. So what, he got 4, I believe 4 elims?
4 elims
and a victory royale, so a point from that.
That's 4 points.
4. I mean, at this point, Tempo.
I'll see you on Monday. I mean,
we'll
I'm
see
just
tomorrow,
going to say it.
Yeah. And again, victory royales are also the top tiebreaker as well. So somehow, if 33 players all have 3 points, you'd think Tempo would be right towards the top of that, or 4 points, sorry, would be right towards the top of that. What a monster way to start day number 1. This place is packed right now, live in PAX West. Again, if you have a badge, come on in. If this is what it's like tomorrow for the $1.5 million day, this crowd's getting into it, and I love it. Having such a blast. That was just game 1 of 4 we have tonight. We've got all sorts of replays from that ridiculous game 1. Here's General from NRG. I mean, what a way to kick off day 3 of these qualifiers.
Absolutely. We saw both top-tier play and some very close finishes from a number of players that we've had our eyes on for a while. People that we've been anticipating, players like Tfue playing in this event every day thus far. Flower going down. General is just attention to position. The timing on dropping in and hitting the shots at just the right time. It's wonderful to see players so aware of their surroundings. Look at this shot, too. The edit out takes Pacifist down and sits on multiple eliminations just from this one engagement at the sports complex.
And you also mentioned so many big names. You saw the battles that went down. I mean, Liquid Chap versus Tfue is kind of anything you could ever ask for as a competitive Fortnite fan. And speaking of Chap, we'll see some of his moments here. It all began back in the sports complex just outside Tilted. Went for those early game engagements. This was that second one we missed that got him all. Look at all these materials he winds up picking up. Puts him all the way towards 900 brick. But this was everything. Versus Tfue. If he dies here, he gets 0 points. Instead, gets that elim, earns himself 2 points alone with that elim, follows up with another as well.
That means that elimination on Tfue from Chap was literally, they were at the same place.
Yeah.
They were both 11 remaining, both only 2 elims.
Then he just drops on down and says, you know what, I feel like chasing more. And even at the end here, where I thought he was going to play this low ground and hope people drop down towards him, he just kind of goes for it all. Starts breaking into the builds, starts pushing towards him. Tempo with the quick edit did kind of shut him down. but still.
You have to give it to him, though.
Yeah.
The knowledge to know exactly when to push when other opponents are shooting at each other. It's listening. They hear the cues of shield dropping off. They hear the cues of players moving, even bandaging. That's the right time to push, and he's on top of his game every time it comes to that.
Works out for him there. Tempo eliminates Chap at the end and then goes on to secure that victory royale. We'll watch that one more time, too. Here's the top-down look. Tempo had so much health. He had maxed wood here. Literally, the other two players had 0 mats. And you see, even with that drum gun spam, he was more than fine with waiting it on out. Times it to where he knows the drum gun is about to be out of ammo. Doesn't spam another wall. Instead, the second his opponent runs out of ammo, that wall breaks, and then he just takes the free shotgun shot. Textbook stuff from Tempo.
He had just removed shield, too, so you had multiple signals to say now's the time to push, try and get the vine and get the win, and he did.
Did just that. So 4-point game from him. Already starting to see some of these big names come out early on of our 4 games tonight. I mean, we're going to get ready for game number 2 in a moment, but we've got actually the standings all ready to take a look at. Let's see where people stack up. You got to think Tempo's at the top there, and yes, he exactly is, but because of that tiebreaker, him and Chap both have 4, but he got the victory royale, putting him just above.
Now you see Liquid Champ 6 elims, 4 points. Jumpman with 3 eliminations and 2 points. But look at this, OT Divine, 0 eliminations. He played the slow game, methodical, waiting, because he knew that, I mean, you get to second or third, that's 2 points. You don't have to take anybody out.
There's all sorts of win conditions. Oh, Tfue with 0 points, but at the top because of his placement alongside the elims he had, could not be closer to having 2 points. Either way, still finding himself in the top 33 at this moment. There's a look again, and all the players ready to hop on, and the battle bus should be taken off here very, very soon. So intense. These live environments, completely different from playing to the comfort of your own home, Ben.
Now, I've got to reiterate, I know I've done it the previous 2 days, I've got to do it again. These guys are all these players, they're in a different building from us, which means they can't hear a single thing that we're saying.
Yep.
There's no outside noise. It's very quiet in there, so they have the ability to concentrate. They can hear everything. And it's the environment over there is, I mean, it's top tier. Granted, some of these players, they're not necessarily, it's not the gear they're used to using, but I'm going to be honest with you. We've seen some of these players put on a good show, and let's see them do it again, Kurt.
Game number 2.
Game 2. The final day for qualifiers, trying to get in on a Monday, $1.5 million. And Jack, where are they dropping?
Where are we dropping? Well, we're following Tempo. We have to off that performance in game 1. Looks like he's heading right back towards Snobby, and it's where he landed last game and had the perfect zone. So he's like, hey, let's hopefully have it work out that way again. As he'll go ahead and fly towards that area. And when you're flying on in, spinning around, looking for exactly where other opponents could be dropping on in from. Looks like he'll have someone there on the screen. Can't quite read the name. But either way, some early engagements possibly for Tempo here.
Unlucky location came around with just some ammunition. You see a lot of these players, even while traveling, they're going to smack every single any material source they can, because early game fights, Courage, 1 or 2 builds can make the difference between winning a 1v1 or not. And look, Slaying inside the house came up with a chug jug. He's got a blue AR already, and Tempo sitting on a gray tactical shotgun at this range is not going to be nearly effective. Shotguns, you got to be very up close. That's why he's using the build. Trying to get in. It gets a shot to the window. Are you kidding me? 80 damage. Leaves Slaying at 20. This chug jug could come in big if Tempo lets him get it off. If Tempo lets him use it. But Tempo's got to push.
Remember, he's only got 30. He's been tagged twice already. But this AR does 33 damage. So Tempo still has 34 health, meaning Slaying is to hit 2 bullets. While he's only got 20 HP, Tempo has a shotgun.
The top right corner, you can see just how close these 2 players are. Third partying.
Tempo got a shield off. Tempo got 2 shields. Is he max shields now? And he's popping a chug jar. Are these guys both have 200 HP?
Full reset. Slaying only has 4 builds. Tempo's bandages, so Tempo's going to be at 175 if Slaying lets him get the entirety of the bandages off, which he's going to. Slaying's at 200.
Do you think Tempo heard that? I can't tell if Tempo heard that.
The trap placement. Hopefully Tempo heard that and does not push through the window.
He's only got 8 bullets. Forget everything else. He's only got 8 bullets. He's got to hope against his limb right here. He's out of ammo. He's out of ammo. He's dancing around. He's got
picked up a great pistol.
That's his last one.
He's got to push. And Tempo gets the elimination.
And you see, no. Can't believe it. Somehow, in the 2 rooms these guys loot, they each get max shields and a chug jug. Here's Nick Merckx early on, facing off against Ryan Rex. Dual pistols. Okay, Nick, earning an early limb. one of the first of the game.
At that point, there were only 90. There were 97. So that was 98th place. 84 left right now, though. 2 minutes and 14 seconds until the circle moves. This is kind of a northeast, a centralized northeast main circle, which means a lot of players, regardless of where they dropped, maybe only flush factory at this point, or even lucky landing potentially because of the path these players are going to have to take. Should be concerned. Everybody else can kind of take their time and build up some materials as they move. And Nick is totally fine inside Tilted. He's going to go through here. Players will always smack out all the furniture inside. It's not worth a lot of resources, Jack, but
every little
you
bit
knock
counts.
them down pretty quick, and there's a lot of them.
Early game when you can only build 10 walls, getting enough mats to maybe build 2 more, that's 20%. You can wind up earning yourself. Oh, big fall there from Jumpman. So Kairos now has the high ground. He actually falls, trying to hit a shotgun shot, doesn't connect yet, and he's out of materials.
Jumpman trying to get the little peek over the top there. You saw him jump to try and take a shot. Backing out, hiding in his own box. He does have 5 bandages, maybe an opportunity to heal up, but Sakairos he has to apply pressure, which he is. And Sakairos goes down to Jumpman, very accurate. You saw multiple crits in there, and the shield disappearing. Sakairos only 28 HP.
He had 28 health.
He didn't take a single point of damage.
That's one that you want back. If you're Sakairos now, Kayun, one player above, one player nearby. It seems like everyone that landed risky is now getting in their fights. This big shield could make all the difference. There you go. Wants a third party this engagement. Shotgun shots coming on in. Can only build 2 walls. That's Joda just above. That was a perfect spray. Knocks him all the way down. Brilliantly done by Kayun.
Kayun earns that elimination. Knowing the exact location where your opponents stopped up top, maybe potentially built based on the walls that were still being built mid-engagement, he says, you must be behind this rim.
Here's Cryo at Jump Junction.
Big shot takes Stratify out. Point blank tack hits like a bus, and the rate of fire is high enough that you can unload rounds, unload shotgun shells, and deal a lot of damage very quickly.
So it's kind of known by a lot of people. Chap likes to go to Wailing Woods, and he's already got 700 wood. He's pushed towards risky. He's got 1 limb to this point.
Looking to pick up a second quickly underneath him.
Yep. He hears the double barrel. Now that it's been shot once, I think this is Chap's green light to go for this. Trying to stop him from getting the reload off. Chap continuing to spray on down. Drum gun in hand, so darn good for shredding these walls. But he doesn't have a ton of ammo. Does take a pretty healthy hit right there. Ooh.
Kayun picking up his second elimination.
Ooh, you heard the reaction from everybody here. The double barrel, when you are that close and it does that pure like 160 damage. Yeah, that's why it's now the new meta of shotguns to use in competitive Fortnite.
You saw right there that golden double barrel, even at kind of moderate range for a shotgun like that, the spread is very high and the damage drop off happens quickly. Over 100 damage while jumping over the top of his opponent. A quick 2-shot. And this is Tifu out in the little Wild West, the set of Pueblos out here. He's looking, trying to hunt down a player underneath him. Compact SMG, a shotgun, an AR, and a hunting rifle. Stalking his opponent. Now he has tons of materials at this point. We've seen players start to favor this drop out here because the larger rocks, Courage, come away with, wow, what a shot.
Yep.
Tifu picks up his second elim. Those large rocks, like I was saying, they have 50 plus brick in them, and they only take a few melee hits.
He was blind from Cloud9, 1 a limb to this point. Again, you see immediately how these players just begin to break down structures when they realize they have so little materials. Whoa.
All back into the Nick Marks looking for anything. You get a 9 and a 20 off there. The 50 damage just pushes up on Lavish and gets him to the bottom of the staircase there.
Nick's got 3. Nick's got 3 limbs. That's a point for Nick Merckx, putting him on the board as well. And it looks like he wants to go for more. He's not done yet.
Airco, a player we've seen a number of times in the past. It looks like Nick Merckx might be getting third party. Multiple players here in Tilted as he's trying to back out of this engagement, saying the position I'm in right now, he's getting shot from above. It's not good enough to go for an engagement that somebody already has the top down on him. You've seen the feed Tyler's getting double flower out. Here to Dirk going down to a 189 meter rifle shot, but Nick found a chug jug.
Nick's like, sure, I'll take that. That sounds good to me, my friend. And Nick is one of the best players at navigating Tilted, right? Knowing the ins and outs, the little escape routes you can have right there, just sneaks away in towards this new building. Uses that chug jug to get to max HP. This is Crunch, we highlighted a little bit back in game one with his quick edits and his fast building, and right there, shows off the edit power, gets that a limb.
Kevin Crunch, both west side of Loot Lake, but they're not alone here. Tempo a little ways away between Tilted and their current location at these factories on the west side of Tilted. We might see a third party from him if he hears the engagement. They are in they're close to the edge of the zone though. Courage, they have 1 minute and 44 seconds before they have to move, but just so people are aware, there are still 2 players outside of the zone coming from Pleasant Park and Shifty Shaft, so we might see some drops to the Storm and the feed here. But Kevin Crunch looking for each other. Meanwhile, C9 Blind, Salty Springs locks himself in. He's listening, and the turbo build's going to protect the wall. He just has to hold down left mouse click while his opponent's trying to smack it out. He still owns it, so he can edit his way out, and he's going to use that to his advantage. A lot of the structure, I believe, is still his, so he can edit these, but his opponent, like we've seen a number of times, they're going to smack him out. They're going to use a pickaxe, replace it, so they take control of the wall. They decide when the hole is open.
Should be a cleanup. You think
162.
162. Okay, well, now that he knows that this player's got under 40 HP, he just wants this, and that's what you talk about with him owning a lot of these walls. He can edit through. Here's another engagement. Can he clean up the limb? There it is. That was NRG Kasid who gets cut down.
Blind's got to feel good about that, especially after last round. I love seeing these players improve on their own gameplay, but Double Flowers stuck inside the house, already super low HP, walks in on Flowers, trying to use Turbo Build to keep his opponent out, but it wasn't fast enough, and he had already been through the wall location, gets a shot off, a very easy elimination just because of the low HP of Flower already.
You'll see, whenever anyone's in this scenario, they never sit still. Even right now, Pupper, yeah, he'd love to just sit still and kind of take his hands off the keyboard, but you never know if there's a sniper aiming in at you. Always strafing, always making sure he's not an easy target. We'll take a couple pop shots, and you hear that? You literally hear that?
The reason
whoever just shot that sniper, thank you for making my point.
Giving credibility to Courage just by a single sniper shot.
When you're playing in these games, even at home, in any match, you always have to think with the mindset that there's a sniper watching me. Even if there's not, always think that there could be. Because again, those third-party opportunities, someone's hunting, someone's watching at all times.
Colton, the winner from our first heat, goes down to Jumpman's tack shotgun. My apologies, double barrel up close there, and Jumpman's going to top off. Very edge of retail, very edge of the safe zone. Yeah, 3 eliminations. That's a point. He doesn't have to move very far. 47th Architect.
You think he's in a great spot here, but he is quite low on AR ammo.
And the zone's moving. Yep. He has to decide whether it's time to engage, which it looks like his opponent says it is, and Frankie gets the elim. His 47th trying to move out. And that's actually Frankie's 3rd elimination. That's a single point for him, which already puts him in a fantastic spot. His loadout is actually exceptional right now, too. 2 full shields. He had a bolt action.
But he's got so little HP in the zone. That's the thing.
He's got to move.
He still has a minute. The zone still has a minute to push. So he's got to run so far. There's people nearby. Nick's got someone just above. I think he'll break down wheels here any second. This could be another elimination for Nick Merckx, which would put him at 4. And he still has a campfire to use, so even though he's in the zone, he's still in an okay position. Trying to match the building, and wheels are on the same level now. Nick trying to swap to that shotgun. There's the elimination.
Shot on wheels.
Nick Merckx hasn't been stopped yet, folks.
He's got to make it too. He's in a great spot to keep on moving with the zone. He's actually looking at the map. He's relatively far out. He has quite a ways to go. He's still all the way across Dusty. Hopefully, there's more than one make it there, or maybe he has a launch pad, because otherwise, he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, he most certainly is. Pupper. Now remember, when this zone closes, it's going to start hitting even harder. Is this the second? Is this the second? Yeah. This player's now trying to medkit to stay alive here. Pupper getting chunked on down. He's got to stop and use this medkit. It's hitting for 2.
Cut off. This means it's a 1v1 fight. He doesn't have any eliminations left, so no matter the outcome, no points.
Both of them drop.
Melo goes down as well. You see all their loot sliding down the ramp.
The Storm is quite good at getting eliminations, and you see it there over towards Hysteria. Just took down Yo-Yo. Keep it up. That's his first elimination of the game.
Now, this is actually Hysteria's third time through the qualifiers. He played through all the heats before this and has done very well in those, but each qualifier he's gotten very close. I remember overhearing he got to 11th place multiple matches, I believe, yesterday, which is just one spot short of getting even just a single point, which could have put him in on Monday.
This is where the little huts begin to get built. The 1x1s, the little bases to hide on in. Over to Cristo. Above Lonely Lodge. Won't be safe for this next zone, but he's playing like this because he's got WBG Ranger just below. Ranger tries to spray on down. The trap comes in. There's 150, and oh no, Cristo. A little bit of a panic there.
It looked like, I don't know if you noticed, was he attempting the rift to go his way out of there just at the last second of the trap damage?
Possibly, as now Kayun thinks he's got a free limb opportunity in a third party. What he doesn't know is that that player below took 0 damage, so they're both around the same amount of HP. And as a player, Lupo, you can sometimes use that to your advantage. Play mind games to your opponent. Oh, he thinks I'm weak because I've gotten this engagement. Meanwhile, he's still more than ready to fight again.
Remember, too, if that trap is still in there, an opportunity for a lot of damage.
A lot of AR ammo being used. Keep an eye on the amount that Kayun has. Just about one and a half clips left.
I believe if Ranger makes it to Monday, that's the 4th player for WBG that would make it through, which is incredible. It's an excellent roster. Nick Merckx in the feed takes C9 blind out.
Jeez, Nick Merckx is a man on a mission.
5 elims, that's 2 points already. That might lock Merckx in for Monday.
Oh yeah, no, Nick's in a brilliant position because he had elims last game too. Here's Fade in a little build battle around one of these houses. Stops Joshua right there. Once he gets the high ground, he just goes with a quick shotgun shot. That heavy, so darn good when you get the headshot crit. And this is from Ranger's perspective. Drops him down, places the trap, edits the wall above him, swaps to the shotgun. It happens so quick, but every single one of those actions was calculated. A much deserved limb right there. Is he gonna go for this? Is he gonna go for this? Oh, gets blocked.
One of the most aggressive launch pads we've seen so far. He's trying to get the drop in on him up top. The reason he went for it, or potentially went for it, is because the opponent at the top of the tower
got 6.
He was already in an engagement, so he kind of had the drop on him. But there's 3 players in this box. Triz is nearby, 2 across the street. Nick Merckx, like you said, was 6 eliminations.
Leading this game. What an absolute beast. He's blind and second in the limbs is already out. This one, Nick trying to break through these walls. He has made, he's made it up through. The spray with the drum gun isn't enough. No!
Just short of the 7th elimination. That would have been 3 points there.
I'm surprised he didn't swap to the heavy shotgun. I think he was hoping that maybe the drum gun spray would have been enough, but if he's got the heavy shotgun right there, I think Freak's dead 10 times over.
Potentially, or even to a trap play in that situation. They were in the same box. He owned a wall. There were a lot of options. JP2 from Luminosity Gaming.
We've seen him play with Cypher, I believe, before.
Chris from C9 and
Minigun, Freak, panic building. The minigun shreds if you land some of those hip fires.
Now, we saw yesterday, though, the minigun kind of biting back a little bit against players that decided to use it. Multiple engagements in a row, Courage, where minigun just didn't work out.
Look at Chris.
In the right hands
wants this fight so badly. The one thing Freak can do, maybe use this heavy shotgun. And Chris gets the elim. Geomach still alive. If you've never met Geomach in real life, I'm pretty sure he's 8 foot tall. That's real.
We'll have to stat check that one, Courage. The push from the east side. You have 17 seconds, 28 players left, and after this circle closes is when things start to get chaotic with circle moves. The Chris, we just saw in the feed a second ago, that elimination that we were watching. He's at 2. 1 more versus who he's against right now. That'll give him 3. That's a point. This drum gun push, we've seen it a ton of times and paid off, but watch the trap. Horrify almost gets it off. And Chris falls down below, just barely dodging it. You heard it go off right there, the reset. So it attempted to do damage. He dodged his way out. He would have survived. He had over 150 HP, but man, those last-ditch efforts, they pay off in just the right situations. fast as Crispy trying to push his way up.
He's going to chase us down. Look for maybe his own little hut to build into. Doesn't have a lot of materials.
Right at it.
Yeah, he wants to go for this. I think it's more of a desperation play.
Boxing himself literally next door, trying to. He's going to take ownership of some of these, or potentially even knock him down. We'll see here in a sec. He's decided to layer himself up. He knows that Tyler's above him, is getting shot from a third party, and there's a number of players around him. So he says, "I'm not going to expose myself too much right now. You guys fight it out. I'll wait to see if I can pop out." He only has very little materials left. But Tifu in the feed, you saw there, just got an elimination on Rex. The fight here, Crispy deciding it might be time to make a move. Relocating, trying to build up all these layers, as many as he can. He's going to push up. He's out of materials, though. 7 wood, 7 brick.
Oh, no.
And an interesting edit. The corners there kind of create that little diagonal bridge with the walls, but it's enough that you can sneak down the edge.
A little frantic, not going to lie. Shivsy goes down, Resume goes down, and E-Man also goes down. So now there's 22 players getting close towards that top 10 threshold.
Crispy's right here to kind of keep quiet. You see in the top right, there's 4 or 5 players in the area around them, all kind of building and layering on top of each other just to try and stay safe as the circle is going to get ready to move here.
Just listen to how much is going on around him. And he's got no materials. He can't do anything. It's Kayun's 3rd elimination. Go ahead and swap to replay this. Quick little edit on the window. Peekaboo.
Takes JP2 out. Tempo, I'm assuming, just eliminated Young Prism. You see that in feed. Perfect. That's 2 eliminations.
Look at his reaction. Like, oh, gosh.
He's got max wood, 200 brick. He's in a decent position because right now, you see that this mountain that's next to him, that's natural cover that he can use. He can push up the left side of the map once the circle starts to move. Tifu over here, 3 eliminations. That's 1 point. So he's in a better position than it was even last game.
I'm going to say right now, for the big names that we've seen participate, this has been some of the best performances so far, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where, like,
Nick Merckx, Chap, Tifu all putting up a good show.
Tifu, Nick Merckx, already, Tempo, already with points on the board. Sitting in great positions to qualify for tomorrow. Again, I have to stress it, folks. We've had qualifiers all this week. It's to earn positions for tomorrow's $1.5 million grand final. It's a holiday. Tune on in. Tell everyone to be there. If you're live in the venue, you will want to be here to secure a spot here early on tomorrow. Do not miss this live in person. This crowd's going to get nuts.
And Tifu doing something you said even before. This is a pretty common tactic. He's very good at waiting, pacing his timing. He's going to try and drop them at the structure that his opponent was using to push in, but it wasn't enough. Multiple layers on that from these top tier builders, so that they can. He still even got in Tifu, who's under his opponent's underneath him now. And he's got to wait. The rock's coming in. A time bounce pad to fly away, try and get out, and this is what we were seeing earlier. Crispy's down at the bottom of that catacomb of structure. Chris getting the elimination in the feed there on Nikiski, I believe is the name.
This is Tifu and Tempo.
Right on top of each other, literally a box away.
Not this, though. Not here when it's all solos. Tifu using the bounce pad, trying to soar forward. Thankfully for him, none of those drum gun bullets connect. He's made it to the closest spot to this next zone. Sign of a great player, making sure positioning for the next move. Now getting sprayed again. I just realized, Lupo, look at his materials. I mean, this is bad.
10 builds left. I believe that's why you saw he built up that layer in front of him, but didn't cap the top off. Plus, he started to get shot from above. He kind of waited. He knew he had to time the builds correctly, because if he had spent all his material earlier, that means that his opponent shooting from above could have potentially busted through and taken shots on him, maybe even eliminated him. You see there, he actually flew early. He made it into the zone, Tifu, but this is where things get crazy. Courage. Everybody's moving at the same time. 4 eliminations for Chris here. 1 more gets him a 2nd point, plus there's 16 left. 6 more players go down. That's another point for anybody left remaining.
Chris has all these shields. Going to get back up to 100 shields. Still 16 players left. Expect a few to begin to drop here. Fade takes down Jayamak. You see Cryo lost to the storm. Another engagement going down as Crispy's trying to sneak on in. 14 players left. Crispy still has no builds. Tifu eliminates Base Soldier, which will maybe give him materials to hold on to. As Triz, yes, he gets 500 wood. That's a game-changing elim for Tifu. Remember, folks, in game 1, Tifu died to Chap when he was 1 elim and 1 position away from earning 2 points. Here he's earned 1 point this game and another elim plus 2 more elims in the total game. Top 10 would get him another.
And we were watching Crispy a second ago, was sitting on 7 and 7 for his wood and brick, and you saw he made his way in underneath. He's in the bottom, and he hid next to a tree, but opted not to knock it down because the tree, the setup inside that little catacomb, the builds that were around it, he's totally covered. He can hide in the bottom of the tree, and players that are sneaking by, he might get the drop on him. He might have an opportunity for another elimination, rather than knocking the tree down and coming out with maybe 30 wood. There's 3 builds that it would get knocked down so fast it might not matter.
Tempo in a fight with Bumboy. There's another limb for him. Tfue just trying to position himself already in that next zone. Made it to 11th. This is where he died last time. Not the case here. Tempo gets another.
Everybody that's left alive right now does get +1 point. They're all top 10. Kriz coming away with a double in the shotgun. Eliminations of the feed. Crispy then follows up and takes Kriz out with an SMG. And Tfue trying to establish himself up top, somewhere safe. He's 6 remaining, 4 eliminations. He needs 1 more for another point.
He wants those, Matt. He wants that loot so bad.
He better. He's got 15 builds left total. And he's going to start to use them to try and get up top, opting out of going after those. But the Rockets coming in saying, nope, you got to go back down. Now's the time to try and make a positional decision. He's got to go down. That's exactly what he's going to do. He doesn't want to take too much fall damage. He's going to push in the zone. He's in the bottom fighting now. Tfue gets another one. That's 5 elims. Makes it to top 3. 2 left.
All the loot's falling to Tfue. He's trying to drop on down. Can he drop his opponent in time? Tfue spraying out the build. Here he goes.
Are you kidding me?
Tfue with the win and the pop-off celebration. Dramatics in the final moments there. Tfue, a heartbreaking game 1, gave him the fuel to turn up there in game 2.
He's dropping. You see TNT Rain trying to get the shot off on the way in. An incredibly long drop. 2 eliminations for him. He did make it to second. That's 2 points still, which is, I mean, that potentially puts him in placement for Monday.
Yeah.
Right. But Tfue, what a game.
He's feeling very good after that. You love to see the emotions there, the pop off. He doesn't have a window to jump out of like he normally does.
I almost expected him to try and find one.
Right. It's either way. You look at it right there, and we talk so much about materials. Doesn't panic, and it's on down. Players begin to fall because we talk so much about how awkward it is going up mountains. There,
oh yeah,
they had to go down mountains, and once people started to get shot down, it was loot raining from the sky. It was like a never-ending llama.
Now, I think a player like Tfue, he spends a lot of time in playground mode. It's a great way to build. You just drop in, smack some llamas, get a ton of materials, and he practices his builds. He practices his edits and the speed at which he can do them. It definitely shows in a situation like that. He had no materials left. As I was saying, he's building up, and as soon as that rocket happened, as soon as it came out, he saw his structure was going to go down. It was time to edit his way down, because if fall damage happened, no matter how much HP you have, 100 is not going to stop you from a drop like that. So editing down, it saved him. He was able to fly down, slide down the hill, get an engagement at the bottom, and you saw so many players were eliminated like that in an instant, and it left them a 1v1 at the bottom.
It all dropped quick. It was all Tfue at the end, but there were many players making some highlight plays. Here's some from C9 Kriz. You mentioned the 2 elims we saw in the engagement feed. Here it is again, getting up close and personal with the double barrel. Will take down Misfits Freak.
This is 28 remaining. We saw that. That's the trap attempt from Horrify.
It wouldn't
have left him at 43, which it would have been a tough situation.
Yeah.
That's not a lot remaining.
It would have been fun.
Towards the end of the game, he got the double and then was immediately eliminated afterwards. But that's a lot of eliminations. That's still a point. Plus, as we've seen the last couple days, 1 point and 5 or 6 eliminations. That could be enough to put you into Monday's grand finals.
I almost forgot that Nick Merckx was pushing towards 7 elims there. He finished with, I believe, 6. The man continues to impress me. Every time I'm like, okay, Nick's done. That's his craziest thing he'll do on this game. No, now, again, showing up to this land environment. I mean, thankfully for the other opponents, Nick playing with a shirt on, or else he would have used the intimidation factor of his traps.
Just flexing.
That basically go above his head. As here it is again from Tilted. Here in Nick Merck's domain. I'm surprised people are even landing here.
The number of those engagements within Tilted in which Nick can bait players into situations that he already knows his way around with inside this whip, the shotgun shot right there, that double barrel is vicious up close.
Yep.
And as I was saying, Nick's ability to bait players into a situation where he knows he has the advantage, that staircase push, the elimination side there, he basically waited for the player to come around the corner and said, now you're on my turf, I have the height advantage, and I've got a shotgun.
Oh, I thought that was how we got the 6th elim. Followed up shortly after. That was against Sean.
Pushing Sean there. Now, Nick one away from 7 here.
I feel like he's mad at himself for this one.
For not swapping. He had the double barrel
He had the double barrel.
With how close they were, Misfits Freak would have gone down very quickly. They were stuck on top of each other. That's the range that a double barrel is just going to crush your opponent if you hit your shot.
And there's a look at this packed house we currently have live from PAX West. That's not the last of our replays we'll see. We'll once again take a look at Tfue and how he made it possible to win that game 2. I have to give him a shout out here strictly because game 1 he could not have more of a frustrating end. 11th with 2 elims. If he beats Chap in that one-on-one, he winds up getting 2 points and basically sends himself to Monday right away. Instead of getting frustrated, getting down on himself, he moves into game 2, plays this final scenario absolutely flawlessly. He drops on down, engages the player down low, picks up the materials, turns around, and then shoots down the final player. So well done.
Now, players like Tfue, they know how to work their loadout at like an optimal rate of fire. You saw multiple times taking a pump action shotgun shot and swapping, unloading with that compact SMG, and just when the shotgun's ready, flips back, hits the shot again. That last shot in the second to last elimination, 76 damage. He just knows the timings. He knows the timing so well that he can put out as much damage as possible and secure those eliminations, even exposed like that in the open. He had no materials left. He had to engage, and he went for it.
Tfue, one of the biggest names in Fortnite. I believe we'll have an interview with him. Actually, it's ready now. Zeke has Tfue down on the floor after that impressive Game 2 victory.
Guys, awesome cast. You guys are amazing as always. I am joined here by the legend himself, Tfue. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm pumped, man. That was like a perfect game in my opinion, and I'm so excited because like the first game, I ended up getting taken out by Chap with 2 kills, 11th place. So I was unfortunate that I went all the way through the first game, ended up getting 0 points, but I clutched up. That last game, 6 kills, got the victory royale. I'm pretty pumped. Excited to play again.
Now, what was prep like leading up to PAX?
Preparation. I was prepping like a small space to play, like maybe tighten my setup a little bit, keyboard and mouse. I ordered the Logitech keyboard and mouse to practice because I knew they were going to use them. But other than that, just a lot of solo snipes every day, grinding, off stream. It's good. It's fun. I'm excited, man.
So what is it like, you obviously played all Summer Skirmish long, and then you show up here, and like you talked about, you had the first unfortunate game, and then in game 2, you show up and slay out. What was going through your mind, and when did you know that you had that win?
I knew I had that win when I cleared out the entire bottom level, and all I could see was just dudes way up in the sky with like maybe 1 or 2 platforms securing them from just falling all the way down. And once I saw them, I was like, it's free. It's free. All I can do is shoot them down, and I'm good as long as they don't got bouncers. But I was confident even if they did have bouncers, I would take them out. But I'm pumped though.
Now, what are you going to say to the millions that love you and the crowd that's live here at PAX? What do you want to tell them?
I love you guys, and I miss you guys for sure.
There you go. You heard it from the legends. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to see how you slay out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw it to a break, so we'll be back in just a little bit. Stay tuned.
Dramatics so far tonight for night 3 of the qualifier in this packed house. Live, and the action has not disappointed so far. Tempo, Chap, Nick Merckx, and Tfue all showing up big as many people expected.
It's been incredible to see every name we've expected for this evening to play extremely well, and they're not the only ones either. A number of players last game had 3+ eliminations, which 1 point is enough to push you into Monday.
Yep.
And that means anybody that makes it in, that's $5,000 minimum. I just want more gameplay, Courage. I just want more gameplay. I've never been more excited.
We got to see where we stack up before we get into game number 3. Where are we at in these standings? Let's see. That rhymed. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. But Tempo, first place spot still, but Tfue, his teammate, right behind him. Liquid Chap right there as well. Nick Merckx in that 7th spot, too. Pretty nuts.
Now, I want you to look at place 6 right now. What do you see there, Courage? That's 0 eliminations, and he picked up another point, another top 10 finish.
The man set himself through to Monday without getting an elim.
He hasn't eliminated a single person. He's just here to be friends. Now, everybody that is in the top 33 here at the end of game 4 makes it to Monday, and we have, oh man, we have so much left.
So much left. Remember, top 33 qualify. So far, only 31 players even have points, which is pretty nuts. So it could be an elim tiebreaker tonight. Who knows? Either way, game number 3 about to be underway. See players dancing in the lobby as they all get prepared. Everyone in the room ready to go.
You saw, actually, we saw yesterday. Do you remember the chain of players doing the worm along the line?
Impressive.
Makes you wonder the shenanigans, man. But as far as shenanigans go, I think those are going to cut because it's time, Courage, to get into the next game.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is this crowd ready, folks? Make some noise.
Here we go. Players dropping out of the battle bus to south, an almost top, bottom to top trajectory for the bus. Players jumping out very early. You see already floating over the water, trying to get as low as possible. We've got people spreading across to Paradise Palms. Less than I expected in that southwest corner to the northeast Flush Factory. Maybe only 3 or 4 dropping down there, so it's going to be a slow, methodical start for those players. But in the bottom right there, you see Tfue pushing across. He's going to drop in at the gas station in hopes to establish himself a little buffer of loot. These southeast corners, typically you come out with quite a few materials if you're unchallenged. The trees and the rocks are key, plus the metal here. He's going after every single piece that he can. Metal for these competitive players is extremely important because early established fights, they have a lot of HP, 110. The second you place him down, Nick Merckx here in Tilted Towers. We've watched him here every time. I guarantee you he's going to drop here. As I said, his opponents that go tilted, they already know they're at least going to have to face him. And if they're watching the leaderboards from previous games, they know they're in for a fight against Nick.
And there are many players in Big Gray right now. Nick knows this. He'll go ahead and upgrade his assault rifle. Beautiful pickup there. That's like the best thing you can ask for right now. The rare drum gun. I don't think there's a weapon I'd want to find more than that.
I almost wanted Shield to come out of that thing and put him in just an even better spot. He is very low on materials though, which means if he's going to fight somebody, Courage, he's going to engage. He's not going to be slow about it. He has to push. I almost expect him to take a shot with the blue drum. You saw the opponent drop down on top of the platform that he plays. He's going to push over here. This middle building, the construction building, has a lot of platforms. These pallets which come out. A lot of wood. He's completely ignoring him. He's pushing past. He's looking for.
Wait, look at how many people landed tilted.
Oh my gosh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And tilted. That southwest corner, like I said, pretty empty. A good spread of players across the entire map.
See, Nick runs away from that fight in Big Gray because he's just hoping for shields anywhere right now, and still has yet to find any. When you don't have shields, it almost feels like you're naked when you're playing. You don't feel comfortable in any scenario. Fights. You see, like, look at this right now.
Chucking the nade. He's pushing him out to the left or up the stairs. Just trying to hope for a bait on his opponent. It sounds like he might have been engaged by somebody else. The nade may be revealing a position.
It's launch padded. Player just launch padded on out. Nick's more than happy just chilling here. Again, since he doesn't have shields, he's not really in the mood to fight in any aggressive manner.
He's C9 blind, the getting shot, I believe, from 2 different locations. As he was readying himself to drop in. Drops a stink bomb basically away. He's zoning out his opponent in an attempt to back out of the engagement. He already got hit from 2 different locations. I mean, a ton of players know exactly where he is. Now is not the time for him to engage. He doesn't even have healing. He's got the campfire, but he's got a build to put that down, which means it's not something he just use on the fly and hide behind. It's going to show up to opponents that see the structure being built. They'll look for the color of the wood platforms, and they'll find them.
Here's Astonish.
Hit the shot. There it is. Joshua going down a Lazy Lynx, and Astonish got to feel good about that one. Set to destroy a team that has been around for quite a while. A number of players here. JP2 from LG yet again. We had our eyes on him last match. He's, as we've seen, knocking out a ton of the furniture, trying to get every single bit of material that he can for building. Just defensive building is one of the biggest things. Knowing just when to put any layer between you and your opponent can stop a single shot, and that can mean the difference between making it out alive or even getting an elimination and getting eliminated yourself. Kayun, the last round took out Chap, one of the players we've been keeping our eyes on, and Kayun's trying to get the spotlight on him himself. Definitely deserved, because he's been putting on a good show every game so far.
Farming up some materials, 547 wood already. Back over to Nick Merckx, who's found a slurp juice, it appears.
The 75 shield.
He's at 570 plus
a lot
wood
of wood. That building courage. All those pallets, man. Yep. You have so much material you're literally standing on top of. And that much wood, that's enough to push anybody aggressively, which is exactly what Nick might try and do here. Using the building already, that's established, but he's going to get up on top of his opponent. His opponent goes for the edit, misses it, and pays the price. Nick Merckx getting himself his first elimination on an Erico, who he only got the corner of that platform edited out. Was trying to drop in and escape, and it couldn't land it.
This was over in Risky Reels. Was that a hand cannon hit?
I believe it was.
Are you kidding me? Double hand cannon connects right there to get that a limb. Talk about making some plays with style. Here's Kyle. Can't get that engagement to go in his favor. That's Emad with a second limb already this game over at Snobby Shores.
Looking pretty good on his healing single mini, and those slurps are the value of those so good. But the whoa, Sloss.
He shakes his head like, okay, I'll give you that one. Beautiful play with the impulse, and I love that. A lot of times you see players just leave impulses behind. When you don't have many things in your inventory, sure, pick it up. But the last thing he's expected is an impulse grenade to fly on in. Uh-oh. Third party now involved.
Yeah, he was going for the push, but shots coming out from the side. Another controller player that we've watched a number of days now. He's trying to track both opponents. Fear of a pinch right here, Courage. What would you do in a situation like this? You know, players on both sides.
He's got a rip to go, so it's not like he's in super panic mode. Right now, just trying to see exactly if he gets some free damage onto Rio. Rio has 200 health, now down to, 169. Grab that drum, that nade.
The defensive build. He saw the nade come in, the ramps, kind of to build a layer underneath him that he can elevate himself with and protect from the explosive damage. Now C4 says, I can do that too, gets the shot and drops in. Rio's trying to push for the elimination on Deathster. Gets the shots and the drum gun. That blue drum is so powerful up close.
That's Rio's first elim, and look at Sloths. Moving, well, like a sloth. Doesn't just kind of yeet on in there, just waits, waiting, looking, seeing what he can do. And there's the rip to go, getting on out. There he goes. Is Sloth going to use that himself? We'll have to see. He does. He does, as we hear him go ahead and takes that to safety. Look at the impulse.
Spreading his wings, getting the elimination on Emil Marcia is
it's an impulse win right
like
there.
You said, you don't see a lot of players use the impulse nades, and I believe that's when Deathster pushed in, maybe heard the impulse go off and say, okay, this guy is using something we don't typically see in competitive games. Blind, pushing in, trying to get underneath his opponent, and does a great pistol. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Just as lethal as everything else in this man's hand. Blind, showing exactly why people should have his eyes on him.
And right there, when you don't have things to replace the weapon with, that's why you pick up everything you run over, right? Because there he swaps to a gray pistol to get an elim in one of the most stacked lobbies you can have. Every little bit helps, and right there, Blind shows it off perfectly.
The entire layout of Emad's elimination on Kyle there. Now, Nick Merckx still in Tilted Towers. I'm not surprised, but there's a reason he's staying here. He basically has the layout memorized. Static and Lavish both moving around still in there, and there is a third party on the hill up top to the south, just kind of waiting and watching. They're still in the safe zone, and Nick doesn't even have to leave yet. He can stay here for yet another circle.
I'm going to tell you something. Nick has no intentions of ever leaving.
Absolutely not. Imagine if he gets kinged here. If Tilted is still in the zone, he's not going to leave that building. It sadly is not. He's going to have to move southeast in a second. Now tempo we've watched. Those clingers would drop the structure out from underneath his opponent. Looks like he did build a step away, and the triangle blocks tempo from the push up top. A good defensive build from Emad. Even though he lost the high ground, Emad still saved himself a little bit. Now tempo editing himself back down. He's trying to follow his opponent. Emad is trying to build up, and tempo almost thought he was going to take some fall damage there. Catches himself inside the tree on the way down, and Emad falling down. Both of these players, looks like a third party is engaging. Emad's trying to track tempo, who flies away. Says, I don't want to do this. I know somebody else is shooting. It's time to get out of here. The bounce pad coming in pretty clutch, and there's that third party that tempo was tracking. Emad might have to deal with the situation now, because when the structure came down, the bounce pad disappeared, and there's no get out of jail free card anymore. Emad might have to engage this, especially because there's just over 60 seconds before the zone is going to move. He does have 2 eliminations, which means if he gets tempo right here, that is a point. Aggressive push, 140 from the shotgun, and gets tempo. Emad, 3 eliminations, gets himself a point.
You can't ask for much more from attack shotgun right there.
And
the chug jug,
the
and
GG.
the GG emote.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, just deciding to add some flair to that one, Bartnologist.
Oh, the body shot. Oh, wow, Muffins goes down quick.
110 damage with that purple bolt, showing just how good it is to carry those power weapons.
Bartnologist in the feed, who we were just watching, actually goes down to Chris, and right now only 3 players, Emad, Tylers, and Dester, have 3 eliminations or more. They're all at 3 right now. That's 1 point apiece. Everybody else is at 2 or less, and Dester, actually one of those players, is already eliminated. 1 point though. You should still feel really good about that, because that could get him into Monday.
There's basically only one way Jair loses this fight, and it's if this hunting rifle can hit a ridiculous shot. His opponent here is, you know, his opponent is so weak. So basically Jair is in a brilliant spot to win this. Just can't let his opponent hit that hunting rifle shot.
Just barely canning up the bounce pad to push away. The bounce actually pushes him out. Might go for the shot here on the fly. His opponent might potentially want to push up.
2 AR bullets. That's why he can't. That's why he can't spray with the assault rifle.
Just waiting. He has enough HP here. He can wait. You can see his opponent actually fell all the way down. No fall damage from that. He caught himself with the build. He's going to push down, try and get this elimination before the storm takes out.
This is for a point.
You got to push to get this.
Oh, no way! Oh, no way! A terrible choke in Wheels, then dies to the storm.
That was his 3rd elimination. That's a point for Wheels.
Both of them going for a 3rd elim. Terrible, terrible end there. Here's how Nick Merckx goes down on beam from Ecstatic. My goodness. That's a 1 point difference there. That could be the difference between playing in this grand final tomorrow and not qualifying.
Multiple bounce pads here. Ecstatic looking to get back in as fast again. He still has to move. The zone here at this point, relatively slow. He's on the inside of it now, so he shouldn't be too worried. But if somebody catches him while he's rotating, he doesn't know based on what you see in the top left. But he's safe here. He doesn't have to reinforce these builds, so potentially losing materials, but that's a safety play. He wanted to get up top. He didn't want his structure to get knocked down while he was trying to build up. And now he does have to move, but he might be looking for another elimination. He's looking
for this 3rd elim. That's how he's playing this right now.
He's going for the point. Intelligent play here, to be quite honest with you. And he knowing that there's no shield on that opponent, you're going to see an aggressive push here. He does have a drum gun. You're going to see that thing come out in a second. The blue tag's going to be utilized up close. Here we go.
Risking it all. Going for it all. Can he get the elim? Yes, he does.
Kev goes down. That's a point for Ecstatic. We actually could hear some people cheering here at PAX West. If you're here at PAX and you're not watching, I don't know what you're doing. Static defending himself. He's sitting on top. He's still in the same cube where the campfire is built, which means he's still getting healed from it, and he has a ton of metal around him. He's safe for the most part. Ranger from WBG just inside the zone. You're going to see an aggressive third party here, even though Ranger only has a gray AR at that point.
He's going to gatekeep that. He's going to wait there and make sure it is not an easy run for him to push on in towards that zone. Ecstatic still has his hands full there. Over towards Salty Springs. Grandma's house, as many people call it. Octagon. Saka just staying alive for the moment. Here's Kayun again, low HP. Doesn't matter for him as he just gets that headshot again. The heavy shotgun showing its strength there.
Crispy, Dime, Sokka. You have Dime, Sokka, and Freak all stacked up on top of each other at this little hunting lodge. This is actually a relatively common drop to push into Salty immediately afterwards, but Blind versus this looks like a Raven Skinny. Gets the engagement. Blind hitting the shots and the crit. 52 damage. There's a reason, Courage, the drum gun is used so often.
Yes.
This thing hits for over 50 up close, which means 4 headshots is an elim on a full HP, full shield player. That's so fast and it spits bullets so quickly that if you're accurate,
yep.
Easy elims. Now Tyler's the only player still alive right now with 4 eliminations. Nobody has 5 yet. The 5 would put him at 2 points, which means there's a number of players. Actually, there's only 2 at 3 or higher right now. Kayun and Tyler's. Everybody else you saw there on the board at 2. And oh no! That's a big oops. Lining the guided up.
Looks like that guided went not where he thought it would go. As he'll go ahead and build around himself and then possibly pop some minis here to get back to 150.
You hate to see that.
He's like, okay.
See it not in his head. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I should drop the guided missile.
Not necessarily. It's actually really uncommonly used in competitive games. I think being able to shoot the rocket out of the air, it only hits for what, 75 damage, even with a direct hit. It's best at knocking structures down, but at this point, with the circle, probably not a good call.
Oh, this was ecstatic.
Is at 4.
Who was right outside. We saw Ranger was going to gatekeep, not make it easy for him to get inside, and that's exactly what he did.
The ported fort possible from Crispy if he gets in a tough spot. You don't see a lot of players carrying that around in competitive plays, Courage, but he's getting third party. I wouldn't be surprised if he popped it right now just to build layers between himself and Crunch, who's at the top of that kind of interestingly built structure. It came down to 1 point at the bottom. Jack's teammate Ashton, who we've watched a number of times in Salty, he's at 2 eliminations. 1 more would get him a point, and he does have Sock on the outside here, rotating away. You know he's got to hear him. You can see him right there, the outline pointing towards the direction that he can hear his opponent moving. He's just kind of looking through the wood right now. He's trying to third person look around the corner, see if he can track down his opponent. Crunch has a top down on everybody though, man. Base Holder and Blind as well at the top of the hill. Has 3 players with essentially Crunch, like an overwatch on everybody.
Crunch is in a beautiful position right now because this is right on the edge of the zone. Ashton, no shields left. 1 more elim would be enough to get him a point. Hasn't happened yet. Tyler's at 5 now this game. That's 2 points. And maybe some more coming on through as he's using his grenade launcher, and Sloth is just trying to build, but so much structural damage. And whoo, that's what I talk about. You never know if a sniper's watching you. Lucky for him, does dodge that shot as he'll go ahead and edit down. Maybe pick up these grenades. Yep. He actually ran out of explode, so he'll grab 6 frags to maybe heave those down.
Minute 24, 23, 30 players remaining. You see this in the top right, kind of that wide angle shot. Tyler's taking some tap fires, but he's not necessarily alone in the area. A lot of players on the north, east, the northeast side of the map and the center, but actually the southwest corner only has 1. Little boat here. We've seen Energy General put on some excellent plays in the past, but gets caught off guard. Little boat drops just down in 74 damage from attack, and that's all she wrote. Now, as I was saying, the southwest edges of this map right now are pretty much empty. A lot of the players are built on the edges of the hill where there's a house at the top. It's going to get dense here in a second.
Tyler's just hanging out. Sees 1 player pushing forward. First shot accuracy. That's a 25 tag. So get for now, but any bit of damage you can do to chip away from your opponents always helps. So bounce pad on over. It's time to make a move, it appears. As he'll drop on down. No rift spawned over there.
Kriz and Kayun both sitting on 3 eliminations right now, which means a point for each of them, regardless of placement. There's still 16 that have to go down before people start getting even single points from placement. Sokka getting Kriz, who I literally just talked about how he got a point. Now he's eliminated from the game. Still a good game, still coming away with just 1 point. Look at this. Gets the shot on Ranger. We saw gatekeeping earlier, but then dives the trap.
It's the most happy I've ever seen someone after getting trapped, and it's because that was his 3rd elim right there to earn him the point. So he'll take it. Crunch. Oh, this storm is chunking him 15, right now. 10, He's done for.
5.
He knows it. There he goes. Those late game storms. It's hitting for 5 right now. Next will hit for 7 and then 10.
Hysteria.
Falls victim there. Hysteria.
Hysteria versus Little Boat building on top of each other. A third party getting taps. That, again, the top of the hill, those towers, they see you. They're taking shots. Jalkai's actually built in inside with them. You see him running around underneath. There's 3 parties here, and they might not even realize excuse me, Crispy coming in saying, I'm here too, don't forget.
If Hysteria plays this part well, he could easily get his 3rd elim, maybe a 4th and 5th. He's got by far the most HP. He's got the tools to do this. This is Hysteria's moment to possibly qualify. 3rd night in a row of competing in this late night qualifier in hopes to make it to Monday.
Now, Hysteria could hear the shotgun reload from his opponent. You hear the shells going in. Wow.
He got the zone too.
He doesn't have to move. He's got a window there. He's going to kind of peek around, see what he can spot. He knows his opponent just reloaded his shot, so it's full there. Chap goes down in the feed to Tyler's, who've been watching. That's Tyler's 6th elimination. Jalkai's gets Little Boat, who one of the other players that was in there. Crispy's still in there. Jalkai's is still in there. There's so many players stacked around Hysteria right now. And
here's Minis being popped. I think Hysteria's thinking, okay, maybe this guy's a little bit weak. Maybe I can make a move happen. I've got near 200 HP. Hysteria peeking. Shotgun doesn't hit quite yet. Challenging the corner. He's caught in the tree. It's a heavy shot from both. Remember, Hysteria has no healing. I'm surprised he's not following this up. He's waiting. I thought he was going to go for that. Instead, I'm wondering if his opponent has minis to use. Hysteria trying to stay alive. Remember, needs 1 more elim for a point. This could be his chance to get on the board to potentially move him towards competition on Monday. Now the 3rd party begins to spray on in. Hysteria building. Hysteria trying to stall. Nothing as of yet. He's got to edit this wall, close this window. There you go. This, how intense is this right now, Lupo? This is the difference between potentially playing for 1.5 million and not.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about Chap a second ago. I saw it in the feed, but let's take a look at how it actually played out. Tyler's the window peek catches Chap off guard. He's trying to build up to get to the zone and couldn't get a wall to block the shots from Tyler's inside his little box there. A great timing play there. Now, I want to say, I think Hysteria didn't push. You were commenting on it earlier. If Hysteria knew there were two other players there, potentially waiting for an engagement to happen and one of them take each other out and just wait to the last second, he knew there were still people alive. He didn't hear the shots at the time, but you never know. Hysteria might also have been just like a fear lockup. Now this is the first zone move. Tyler's actually has 7 eliminations. So many high elim players.
Got sniped by a heavy sniper. You saw that. I believe it was that Vape Jesus who hit the shot. Here's Tyler's down 7 elims.
3 points for him, basically guaranteeing a spot on Monday unless everybody else goes absolutely wild for the rest of the games. That's it. Catches Sloth pushing up next to him from outside of the storm. Sloth might not even have known Tyler's was inside. That's 8 eliminations. We've only seen one other player, Courage, hit double digits. That was Animal yesterday.
Is this the heavy
shot from Bay Soldier?
Oh, this was the shot.
Blind, you can't sit up top.
Yeah, that was a Bay Soldier with that heavy sniper, the new addition. That does 157 damage to the body, 360 plus damage for the headshot. So basically, yeah, you're not living if that hits you. Hysteria still at 2. At this point, do you think he waits and hopes to just place top 10? Because he's two elims away, 3 elims away.
I would. You hear there's another that guided rocket. That must be OT Divine who had it previously. If he's still alive, drops Tyler's down. Now, compared to the rest of the players that are alive right now, Courage, Tyler's has 8, and the next closest is Hysteria, Rio, and Godbat, who have 2 eliminations apiece. He has more than those 3 added together, and that's the next closest for elimination count that are still alive in this game.
See how he just builds out these huts, spams all those walls. OT Divine moving forward, 12 players left. The next 2 who drop will miss out on points.
Replacing the wall, so he has control of that. And Tyler's getting his 9th elimination. He maybe overheard us earlier saying eliminations do count for
drop next? JP2 drops next, which means we're at our top 10. Every player remaining just earned themselves 1 point.
That's gotta feel good for like Hysteria.
Can he get a second here with another elim? He's only got, 1 more wall he can build. I feel like he's just got to go for this.
The circle is kind of in his favor. If he had more materials, if he can get that elimination, not only is it a point, Horfy is probably the player you heard above him, but he'll get the materials that are left. Horfy actually just got lasered, almost eliminated there. You hear him popping minis.
Hysteria cannot build a single structure again. Tyler's still staying alive.
Didn't take a single point of damage.
Hysteria got the elim on the Rex.
That's 3 now for Hysteria. 2 points in this game for Hysteria.
So Tyler's already has 9 elims, which means he gets +3, then +1 for the top 10. Horrified trades the elim onto Divine. Tyler's still moving. Could we see the clean sweep of a game for the first time, a full 6-point performance, if he can win this one? He hears so much around him, he doesn't even care.
Goes down to Storm, 5 left.
Oh my goodness, is this the 10th elim? Can he match Animal? Yes, he does.
Base holder, 4, almost ticked out. One more tick to the Storm,
he's got
gone.
3 campfires.
If this turns into a play for the against the Stormy, a med kit?
Jeez. Folks, Tyler's may clean sweep this game. He's going to be near the top amount of HP left in this lobby. 10 elims. You see him waving? He knows. He knows he's on camera right now. He knows we're showing love.
Cheeky smile. Now, 3 campfires courage in competitive plays, gameplay, especially where it comes down to almost a heal off at the end, is crazy powerful. You'll see players put down floors right next to each other, place all the campfires simultaneously, and sit at the junction between the platforms, because then they're taking up multiple squares. They're getting the heal from all of them.
He just earned another point.
That's 5.
Tyler's now has 5 this game alone, folks. He's so close. Down to the top 2.
The speed that he had to get through 1v1 situation. This could be 6 points for Tyler's if he gets the shot off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is so insanely challenging to do. He's got the high ground now. He's popping minis.
He could go for the heal off.
He could absolutely go for a heal off. And look at how low on HP his opponent is, under 70 health.
Or if Tyler's decides to go for this, go for the 11. It'd be the highest elimination count in any game we've had in the qualifiers. His opponent decides to shoot up from underneath. You see, he's doing it.
Okay,
he's
here we
building
go.
up the layers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this could be it right here. He's building himself high enough to be able to drop down a bunch of campfires to out-heal this zone.
His opponent knows. He knows that he can't out-heal this, and the expectation might be that he knows
building
that
more layers. He's trying to catch up to him. Tyler's keeps on going. When is it campfire time? When will he place them all down? He just keeps building up, keeps building more layers. His opponent can't catch him. I think it's time. It's time to place him down. 1, 2,
he's sitting
3,
right. There
and
you
look
go.
at this. He's going to heal on up. Tyler's, for the first time this week, the 6-point game. There it is. Hands down, the best performance we've seen in a game thus far, throughout every heat, throughout every qualifier, and that smile sums it up perfectly. The 6-point performance, absolutely insane stuff.
Jack, I gotta say, day 3 has proven itself to be the craziest thus far.
Absolutely.
And we're not even done yet.
We're not. We have one more game tonight. That was like Tyler saw Tifu's crazy end. It was like, you know what? I'm going to one-up you right here.
1 second.
I'm going to one-up you right here, my friend. Brilliantly played, getting those levels, making sure it's not easy to shoot him down. Drops all those campfires. 3 campfires?
We haven't seen anybody else with that many campfires thus far, and you can see why that many campfires pays off.
Yep.
Players in competitive matches know that sometimes it's going to come down to a heal off. He was building layers between himself and the opponent underneath, knowing full well that as soon as that person underneath him is shooting, that's a signal to him.
Yep.
That guy cannot out heal the Storm, and he's afraid that I can. So I'm going to build up. I'm going to put a buffer between myself and him. I'm going to put these campfires down. I'm going to outplay the Storm.
GG. We've got replays to look at. As always, first comes from Bartonologist, a very talented solo showdown player from online. This was early on at the racetrack just outside Paradise. You see a little peaks with this pump. There it is. To clean up knives. Later on, they rifted, tried to maneuver, and this was that beautiful, epic bolt action sniper onto Dat Muffins to cut him down.
The crowd here, day 3 of the qualifiers. Can we please make some noise if you're here, PAX West?
Oh, yeah. You love to see it, people going around using the restroom, getting ready for game number 4, Divine. We saw a little bit in that game, rocking the guided missile. One didn't go his way, but the rest of the game went pretty darn well, if you ask me.
Something to feel good about. We even heard a number of a couple guided shots later, but JP2 getting caught off guard. The SMG spray through the walls as JP it looked like he was looking on the outside. Good timing from Divine, trying to secure his 2nd elimination here as the player almost sneaks up on him. It's Hysteria who landed 2 points that game, but Horrified drops in behind him, takes him out 2 eliminations. But still, a top 10 finish, that means a point for Divine. And this is not the first qualifiers we've seen him in. So I bet it feels good to finally to get a point. That could put him in Monday already.
Oh, for sure. And again, the limb difference could potentially be the tiebreaker there. 1 limb could be it, like we saw yesterday. But Listen, I'm sure you can all guess who the final set of replays are going to come from. Our first place victory royale from that game, the full 6-point sweep. Tyler's 10 elims and the victory. Legitimately one of the best performances I have seen in all my time playing Fortnite.
And you got us watching the speed of the edits and the knowledge of when to catch his opponents off guard shows. Look at these edits, just how fast and just the right time to push in. Gets almost every single elimination felt like he knew exactly how to control his opponent and where they were going to go, predicting the movements and knowing just when to push.
Look at that one there. Slough comes on in, sends it packing. So he's running at 8, make it 9 elims now. Take you down Rio. And again, this was the final one here. Tyler's a man that I think is beginning to make a name for himself in this competitive scene. This was the final moment. Campfire, campfire, campfire. You sit right in the middle and you get the benefits of healing from all 3. You see just how long it's taking. Like, look at that. This should take 10 seconds to eliminate you. That would have taken so long. He was almost out healing it seemed like, but there you go. Tyler's nose, crosses his fingers, gets the win. GG's all around. And the best part is, since we're live here at PAX West, can immediately catch up with him for a brief interview. I believe Zeke has him over at the venue.
Gentlemen, great cast. I mean, you just watched that victory royale. I'm joined here by Tyler's, the man himself, Tyler's. I mean, to take a victory royale in the way you just did, first off, 10 eliminations, and then to win with a double campfire. What was going through your mind, man?
Dude, going through my mind, I was just like, I just need to get up on the high ground. I just need to use these campfires. You know, I don't need another kill. I don't need the 11th. I just wanted to make sure I got the W.
That is amazing. Now, what's interesting, man, is you did all this, you slayed out without the double barrel shotgun. What was the decision there?
I don't like it. I've never liked it since it's come into the game. I just miss too much, I think. I just prefer anything other than that, even attack. I would take a gray tack over a double barrel.
A gray tack over a double barrel, that hurts my heart, man. So let's talk about this. What is your strategy going into the next game?
I'm just going to kill everybody. I'm just going to slay out, get as many kills as I can, and win. Just be the best.
Let's check out some stats from this last game that you had. Dude, seriously, unbelievable play here. I mean, check this out. You got 10 eliminations. I can't speak. 341 bills and 5,000 mats gathered. What does it feel like here? I mean, let's talk, right? You got 10 eliminations and the victory royale. That's 6 points, and I don't think anyone else has yet to drop any eliminations that you have like that. I mean, what's the next step?
Next step? I think it's 11, right? 11 kills.
I hate you so much. Congrats, Tyler's. Best of luck in the next few games. Back to you guys on the desk.
Zeke, that's the one thing you have, the microphone. Stop giving it up.
Jesus, man. That's like an 11th elim. He just eliminated Zeke from interviewing people.
Been eliminated.
There he goes.
The 11th. It's incredible how confident players like Tyler. I'm just going to eliminate everybody. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Looking down. The confidence in his face. And that makes 2 players thus far that have hit double-digit eliminations.
Yes.
Himself and Animal from Sentinel, which is crazy. You have to realize too, Jack, that 10 eliminations is like a public match win sometimes, man. And they're playing against extremely good players, professional players that are editing and building faster than a lot of what you'll see anywhere else than here at Summer Skirmish.
Yep. And throughout the day, we've actually had the chance to catch up with some of our participants. Let's check it out.
Well, as a streamer, as a full-time career, I want to try and push that career forward. And I have every cosmetic in Fortnite, every pickaxe, every glider, everything that they've ever released, I ended up collecting.
I just want to prove that I can be considered one of the best in the game. I just want to make it my passion.
I come from Inglewood, California. There's gangs and everything, and video games saved my life. So I bought the blast ticket out, all my money. I took a gamble, and it worked out. Kind of chased a dream, and I'm here today.
I've been playing in the pro Discord for about 4 months now, scrimming almost every day, and I just want to win to prove myself.
All the best guys are here, so I want to prove myself to be one of the best, and obviously the prize pool is just icing on the cake.
I feel like I could just lay back, watch everyone kill each other, and then snipe them from the back.
It's all about the good vibes here at PAX West at the Fortnite booth. Summer Skirmish, day 3 of the qualifiers. We have one more game left, and we will know every single player participating tomorrow for the $1.5 million on the final day of competition for the last 8 weeks of the Summer Skirmish.
Jack, I'm setting alarms, man. Anybody you know, tell them 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow Pacific. That's the time. Be here, especially if you're here at PAX West. Do not miss the event tomorrow because we have a crazy amount of gameplay coming from all these players. Are putting on such a show. And one of the things I noticed in there, it's not just a small collection of players. We have people from all over the world here to play across the ocean and back. It's incredible. Now, Jack,
this is it. It's all come down to this. 8 weeks of competition. Millions and millions of dollars of prizes up to this point. Players traveling from across the world. One final game to find out who our 100 players are for tomorrow's $1.5 million final.
Game 4 coming in, a northwest to southeast bus approach. And already at the top, you have people dropping over the water. You're going to have, looks like Junk Junction might be a little busier than usual. I would expect players to stretch Wailing Woods, Risky Reels, Flush and Greasy probably pretty often in a situation like this, especially competitive players. They know that targeting the outside zone is important. But Tyler's, if he's looking to put a record elimination count up this game, going for 11 or more, he's got to jump into the heat, and I think that's exactly the plan. Going to Salty smack dab almost in the center of the map, looking to see if he can pick up a couple early eliminations. Going to hit the treehouse, it looks like. 3 chests possible. No, he flies past, going to the house at the end of the street there.
This is actually my exact skin loadout.
It looks like he bypassed a weapon, gets the pump action shotgun and an LMG instead, which is an excellent loadout up close against whoever's in the roof above him. And now it's kind of the time to choose when to engage. Whoever's up there, you better look out.
Oh, he's great. He's got minis. He's going to fight this right away. He's going to fight this right away. Tyler's not only took the microphone twice from Zeke, but also promised 11 elims this game. So we'll see if he's a man of his word. Frankie has moved towards that middle treehouse, and I believe the player who landed on Tyler is actually built up and out towards a sniper tower, trying to avoid that engagement.
Ashley getting engagement over here at the hotel. Got to hit those shots. 1 left, and he couldn't secure it. Rogue's Double O Flower gets his first elimination. Only 14 HP left.
Did he have 200 health already?
It looks like he might have. Right. And actually, earlier already this evening, Flower had secured 4 elims in a single game, which it means he's got 1 point and 5 elims minimum for the night. That can put him into Monday, even if he doesn't get another point, Jack. We've seen people make it in with 6 eliminations and 1 point. Tempo and Tilted, which is surprising. Tempo knows that there's like Nick Mercy gets the shotgun shot from, looks like down the stairs. It's Crypto from above, actually, pushing in now. Maybe here's the shield. The mini popping, and Tempo's going to try and layer up against these early game materials, super important. Even though he doesn't have a lot of them, he's got to position them. Like Crypto for the shot there. Tempo, this is like mid-fight harvesting materials, knowing that every piece that he has counts.
Yep.
Every layer is stopping a shot from that shotgun.
Here's Ecstatic over towards Double L's. Ooh. Eliminating Ectic.
Another controller player. It's great to see both controller and keyboard and mouse players staying competitive against each other. Putting on a good show here in Tilted Towers. Tempo trying to he's still on the hunt. Still looking for this. And he's not the only one here. It's not a 1v1 anymore. Nope. Lavish and Crypto are here against Tempo. I would expect as soon as an elimination happens on one of these players, the third party is going to push, hearing potentially a shield break, something like that. You're going to see quick, aggressive gameplay from all 3 players here as soon as something starts.
So you see Tempo's like looking towards his back, even though there's players near him. He's looking to see if maybe someone from Big Gray is going to begin to shoot down on him or something along those lines. He's got to be wary of that. Nice little loadout here for DT. We'll be able to loot as well this campfire. Hunting rifle. Another gold compact SMG, the legendary compact SMG right there.
Shoots in the feed, went out with a bang. Looks like a self-elimination. Hysteria takes out Steph Ryu, who we've watched a number of times over the course of the last few days. But here we go, Tempo. Layering up. He looks like he owns a number of surfaces in the stairwell. Players will take advantage of that.
Fourth
like
party
Tempo.
now.
Everybody, there's a party going on here, and everybody wants a piece of these elims. These early ones count big time, especially if it's could potentially be a player's first point.
Well, there goes half of double L's.
Everything's way in. Tempo sees. I almost expected a shotgun shot trying to snipe an elimination there. Marsh in the feed taking a little boat out. Stick the Jenner getting elimination on Bumboy while these players are still untilted. The C4 almost. There it is. Tempo at 5 HP, and the shot from Ryan Rex gets Tempo eliminated.
I think Tempo's still got to be proud of his performance tonight, though, especially from earlier on. Sheesh, that's an awkward spot for Godvat as King BO2 just beams him there with that little health. But then, unfortunately for King BO2, you see, I think that was blind pushing
blind
on it, right?
And back here, Senrio back in Pleasant Park. Going for the revolver shot, misses, but doesn't even matter. Gets elimination on GS Logan. This is first for the game. Joker Untamed, who we saw earlier in the little player preview there, gets a lucky horseshoe here. Southwest, this is that pair of double buildings southwest of retail. That's 2 elims for him. 1 elimination gives him a point. 1 more there. Posey says, I heard the fight. I'm on my way in, and this is a perfect example of third partying. The sound cues, people will hear it, and actually maybe not. He was still smacking materials on the way in. Joker Untamed might have caught him off guard.
He's going for this, and he has no idea just how much health Posey has. Posey's.
Oh, the third party, the snipe, 162 meter. Wow.
I'm assuming that is our furthest elimination of this game so far. And there's a look at it there. Just how far away that snipe was. Yes, it was the furthest elimination at 163 meters. My goodness, folks.
Now the storm's starting to shrink. Currently, it's an interesting stat. It is 1,600 meters wide right now. And here, Crypto getting lavish. These players have been fighting it out here for quite a while. And Ecstatic still alive as well. 1v1 here. You got to look out for a peek around the corner. People will third person and use the camera angle to watch for pushes, watch for a time to pop out. I think he placed the campfire inside. He's going to move inside and kind of wall it off so that he can take advantage of it. Crypto's above it. He's got to hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, Crypto knows exactly where Ecstatic is, and potentially choosing when the push is going to be much easier now, the angle at which he can come from, because he knows
Crypto might be right here. Oh.
Almost expected it to peek that shot and catch Ecstatic off guard. Crypto's actually, he's looping around the outside. You know they're listening to each other the entire time. There's a track going down through to protect. Crypto actually in the feed there gets Ecstatic with the pistol, the fight we were just watching. But over here, the west side of the factory is by Lonely Lodge.
Nikiski building on up, dropping down, has a ton of materials, but not much ammo to use. This is one of those fights where the currency you're looking for is extra ammo for your next engagements. Continuing to break on it, gets control of the pyramid, but I don't think anyone's even in that 1x1 anymore. Yeah, that guy's been long gone. He moved to the build just behind him, and he's actually just going to give this one up. Will Sloth shoot him in the back now?
I almost expect it. Potentially hearing the
move out. Yeah, he just like leaves him.
Sloth gets a couple taps. The Dry SMG from distance doesn't really have anything. I mean, tab firing maybe with the AR is a better option here because the SMG is not nearly as accurate. First shot accuracy with an AR at that range is going to be superior, but he was just looking to spray a bit to see if he could get any damage on him. Maybe even a method of shield checking, see if his opponent is weak enough that under 100, there it is. Turns around as Nikiski dropping down, but a third party coming in. The shots from the hill on Tilted, which is exactly what Nikiski was looking at pushing towards. Nikiski, Divine's teammate, eliminated there, and Sloss has 2 elims.
This was King against Blind. Blind just drops on in, and 2 quick crits from that tack shotgun will send him home. Here's Tyler's from last game, promised 11 limbs in that interview. Still at 0, but still, it doesn't matter for him. He had the perfect performance in Game 3.
53 players left. The circle's about to close. We're going to see where people are going to have to move next, and it's basically centered in the previous storm. So everybody's about the same distance, equidistant from the outside edge. Nobody has too much pressure, but there is under 2 minutes. You got to start making moves before too long because you want to get into these circles early. Competitive players, they're going to try and gatekeep, and if you're outside of the circle, fade! Baited. Tyler's goes down, 0 eliminations.
Heavy shotgun, man.
He heavy shotgun.
the highest damage output of any shotgun, that heavy when it hits a crit headshot, and it shows it right there. That was Tyler was running in with 142 HP. Kev is popping the Chug Jug, hands off the keyboard, just hoping it even has time to use it.
It's on the far west side too. You see the map there in a top-down view of the area that Kev's getting that the Chug Jug off on. Two players already engaging each other, and it looks like someone is trying to hunt Kev down. The audio cue from that Chug Jug could be very revealing. Players like General, you see that he's pyramiding on top of his own ramp to block a pyramid attempt from his opponent. Maybe he's a trap player. Gets the shotgun shut off. Looks like 80 shield damage, which means he knows his opponent still has some shield left. You didn't hear the audio cue. It's Yo-Yo, keep it up. A player we've seen in previous summer skirmishes. Puts on a good show, but cannot clutch. Gets dropped down. General drops the platform out from underneath him. Yo-Yo falls in and gets shotgunned.
He's trying to move quick to drop down. There you go. This was that fight we missed earlier on when Crypto picked up the legendary double barrel shotgun. 1, 2. Nice little swap to the pistol. That rare pistol is quite good when the bullets connect. Here's Kyle over on in crates just above retail. Looking for whatever he can get. The epic assault rifle, quite good. Absolutely shreds, and the drum gun as well. Swapping between two spray weapons. You see all the builds coming on in, denying any bit of high ground he can. Now he'll try to match the build himself. Follows it on up. Joshua just below. Definitely a health advantage here for Kyle. Seems like he's having trouble spotting exactly where he is. Oh, you hate to see that if you're Kyle. There he goes, Joshua with the elim, his first of the game.
Now you see the board here, 6 players currently with 3+ eliminations. I actually just went up 7. DT, Sakairos, and Marsha, the only ones still alive though. So you've got 4 players that have earned themselves a single point, plus those elims, which can mean all the difference for tiebreakers. We still have 3 alive that can keep pushing the elimination count, go for more points. Only 2 more eliminations separate them from 2 points, and that we've seen the last 2 days has been enough to push them into Monday's grand finals.
Diabolic. Falling down this hill. Look at the zone at his back. Time is against him as he's going to have to move on in. Knows there's one player in this broken house. Speedy peaks. Nearly gets a haircut there from the player. He's going to keep on moving. Keep placing these walls.
Damage yet either. 100 still. In the feed, Blind goes down to Rex. And Blind this game did not have enough elims to get a point. Not high enough rank to get a point, so no points from this game for Blind. As previously we were watching Joshua versus one on the backside of the wall here. We were hoping, I guarantee you, Kyle was beating himself up. There's a level of inaccuracy there. The spray from the SMG just didn't connect enough.
His tracking was not very good in that fight, and that's what cost him the grenades. Sakairos trying to outbuild it, trying to stay alive. Not many mats left to his name. 3 limbs so far, so 1 point earned, but now he's getting shot from multiple areas, down to 5 HP. I think the end is near here, Lupo.
If he clutches it, no. He almost used the rip to go.
Oh my gosh.
Opted not to because the shot stopped. He's going to get bandages off. Nope. He heard more shots come in. A layer got knocked out, and that's a good call. I'm actually extremely impressed at the hesitation on using it to go because he was trying to hold on to that. It's such a powerful item to have late game. You can reset an engagement that you are at a big disadvantage in by just getting up on top of everybody. But he has to take advantage, box himself in, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is an extremely obvious location. Those walls don't belong. I mean, they don't belong to the...
what gives it away?
Exactly.
That they're building, that they're not obviously safe structure. There's a lot that's not good for him right now.
If somebody watched him move in there, they're going to take shots. Yeah. I don't feel like very often you'd see a player box themselves in something like that because it's very telltale.
Look at everyone outside this next zone.
There's going to be a lot of people coming in. Everybody that's inside the current zone down there in the south. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw maybe one of those players, the 4, the top side, move north and try and build up, or even that northwest, whoever that is in the northwest, start gatekeeping. You're going to have a lot of people coming in, definitely from Salty. It's a very popular spot. Plus, everybody from the west side of the map, they had to push across the river. They're going to have taken each other out. They're in a prime position to get
Kevin Hysteria. Kev trying to build on up. Hysteria had much lower health, but that's not the case anymore. Hysteria, 3 eliminations. And the sigh of relief, it seems, from him as he lives to see another day. Gone nearby as well. Gal looking to push his engagement. I think he thinks Hysteria is very weak, but little does he know, Hysteria was basically gifted a med kit. He's still got some shields left. I think that this is Hysteria's fight to take as well.
applying pressure in a situation like this, especially when you have somebody very close to the edge of a mountain. Hysteria can't back out of this easily unless he goes for elevation as well. You see the push now coming from Gone, knowing full well that he's got his opponent in a tougher spot just by applying pressure previously. Those kind of shots to knock down surfaces, that's going to make players that are very aware of when a push is going to come. They're going to stop healing, they're going to put up a wall, and Gone knows that, which means he may have interrupted a heal. The aggression, it's absolutely perfect time, but Hysteria going for a play there, trying to get him on YouTube and jumping up above the bounce pad to get elevation. Great play. 41 damage, no shield remaining. He's going to go for it. Another one, the shocks midair and gets the elimination on Gone.
Beautifully done by Hysteria, his 4th elimination of the game. And he's going to go ahead and drop on into the low gravity zone. Ooh, that clinger lands right behind 42MZ. The clingers aren't being stacked, so, you know, structures, he's able to get out, from Seattle. $1.5 million on the line. It's been nuts. And this is the only thing going on here. Go play the Lazy Leagues mini golf course. We played last night. I won't spoil what happened.
Tons of competitors coming out here to put on a good show. Play looks like he's looking for a snipe shot. You see him he's jumping and whipping back. Here it comes. Oh! There it is. Replays with the headshot. He's going for it. You see every time.
But he got it. He got it.
Right there, gets the shot. What a fast edit. He doesn't even realize 5 HP remaining.
Even he didn't believe it.
Sneaks inside against the Elon, puts him at 6. The second one on Powder, 2 HP remaining. Are you kidding me?
It's 7 limbs this game. And there he
goes down to blue tee. What a finish.
Wow, look at the extreme joy. That came from blue tee. He's a pro.
Confident.
2 players remaining. Without encasement, there's the engagement trying to build on up. A quick shotgun blast. The second comes in as well. Brandon down to just 54 HP. The zone's closing on in. He's got to go for this one now. Brandon dropping out in. 72 hours into the zone. Oh, are you kidding me? With 3 HP. Second layer. Third layer. Trying to spot where he is. Nothing yet. Here comes the spray. He's in the 1x1. The spray down. Got him with 40 HP. The clock is ticking. He's got to make something happen. He knows he's tagged the health. He tagged the HP. He knew he had the advantage. That's all he needed to do.
Rank 1 performer there. The last second damage play. Well done.
What a day we just had ourselves, Lupo. And the brilliant part of it, we get to do it all again tomorrow. It all culminates here at PAX West. We'll see you then.
summer skirmish.
He's only got 60 HP. He's got to force these fights. He's got to make something happen. He's looking to make it happen towards his low side, down to just 1 HP. Can he make the greatest play happen? I don't think Sean drops. Good effort, my friend, but Sean knows there's the reason to force it. There it is.
The shot in Sean, an excellent play, 6 eliminations.
We've had yet this weekend. There's a shot.
Oh! The edit from above from Animal.
Built up,
like you said, built a second layer.
It's a shot.
There it is.
The victory there for Send Animal in game number 2.
Any final thoughts for all the people out there that love you?
I just want to say, hi, Mom.
This looks like it might be a push up the hill. He might not be worried about the next zone. He might be going for an Elam here to get that. Try and push himself to second and maybe a win. Gets the shot, Tendons gets it. And Saint with basically nothing left. He had 5 shotgun shells.
Tempo knows he's got a huge health advantage. He loses the build.
Gets
Drops
only
it for
shield
90.
tags. Unbelievable accuracy from Animal. Gets a 47 and a 50 with the double barrel swap.
Down at a 75. The spray comes in with the drum gun. He's got this player weak. This would be only his second to live, but there it is. Tries to edit it out, but Sap from Ghost gets the victory. For Dr. Lupo, myself, and the rest of the production team, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys again tomorrow, 6 p.m. PST. More action to come. gentlemen, we are live for day 3 of the Summer Skirmish qualifiers. The battle bus is about to take off. Tfue going for the engagement. Won't find it yet. It's Chap taking down Tfue, and you see the smile there as he looks over. And Chap's not done yet. He gets a second elim there. He's got no matches. He's got to go for this. There's one. Hello, Chap.
Are you kidding me?
Chap. Can this man be stopped? Manually to get to this point. He had it. Tempo says hello, my friend. Tempo drops Divine to just 17 HP. There's the elim, and there's the win. Tempo, congratulations.
That's exactly what he's going to do. Doesn't want to take too much fall damage. He's going to push it to zone. He's in the bottom fighting now. Tfue gets another one. That's 5 elims. Makes it to top 2 left.
All the loot's falling to Tfue. He's trying to drop on down. Can he drop his opponent in time? Tfue spraying out the build. Here he goes.
Are you kidding me?
Tfue with the win and the pop-off celebration.
This is the first zone move. Tyler's actually has 7 eliminations.
He doesn't even care.
Zone. The Storm 5 left.
Oh my goodness. Is this the 10th elim? Can he match Hannibal? Yes, he does.
Base holder.
He's building more layers. His opponent can't catch him. I think it's time. It's time to place him down. 1, 2,
He's sitting right.
3,
There
and
you
look
go.
at this.
Good
He's
luck.
going to heal on up. Tyler's, for the first time this week, the 6-point game. There it is.
The layers there.
Here it is from Gyre. Oh my gosh. And look, another Rift to go was just used. Babe Jesus eliminates one. He's got to watch this trap on the other side of the wall. Drops on down. The quick tag shot. Get him in
Him around the corner.
J-Amok with the victory.
It's been incredibly exciting. We've had some really solid shots. And we're not even done yet, Courage. We have 6 games left, and I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's nice and early here in Seattle, but this crowd is already electric. The day is here. The grand finals of the Summer Skirmish. $1.5 million on the line today. And I couldn't have a better co-caster for it. Dr. Lupo joining me up here.
I'm so incredibly excited. Last night, I'm going to be honest with you, I think I woke up with night sweats. The lobby today is absolutely stacked. This might be one of the most competitive lobbies we've ever seen.
Okay.
The Summer Skirmish culminated. This is week 8. $8 million over the course of the entire event. This weekend, $1.5 million. And first place takes $225,000 home.
We've got a week of action, too. We've got a week of action up to this point. So many legendary moments. we'll have to quickly take a look back on exactly the format of how we got here to keep you all up to speed, because I know a lot of people will be tuning in today who really, Dr. Lupo, might not have ever watched competitive Fortnite before.
Now, the previous 3 days, the qualifier days, start off with 3 heats each morning, each heat being 2 matches apiece, and then in the evening, if you watch the streams, if you're here in person, the qualifiers, 4 matches, and the top 33 from each of those qualifiers made it into today, Courage, the grand finals, which is 6 matches. Now, how are they going to win? It's based on eliminations and placement. 3 to 4 elims is 1 point, 5 to 6 elims is 2 points, and if you get 7 eliminations or more, and we've seen some players hit double digits, you get 3 points. Now, a top 10 placement is 1 point, second or third is 2 points, and 3 points for the victory royale. But there's some spice on top of that we'll get to here in a second.
There is some spice. Now, as you guys know, there's the $1.5 million first place, $225,000 US. Everybody who's made it to this point today, everyone participating already won themselves $5 grand. But you mentioned something a little spicy. Well, I'm happy to announce each victory royale today will net the player $25,000. So those 1v1s at the end of the game, when it's down to the wire, the storm is closing, everyone's kind of just trying to get by with their HP. Those will be $25,000 1v1s, and then obviously
it could be worth points. It could be worth points too. The value of a single 1v1 today. Even imagine the last match comes down to literally 2 players that have performed like crazy the prior 5 matches. That last fight could be worth literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, Courage.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy to think about how much is on the line today. And remember, this isn't just only a big day for prize money. This is arguably one of the biggest days in Fortnite competitive history, if not the biggest. This is the most stacked lobby we have ever seen. We will get into everyone that's participating, but yesterday there was a superstar, Tyler's, who had some interesting interview moments. We caught up with him once again leading into the final day.
So when I would see people, I would be very scared. I would get nervous. I wouldn't want to fight them. I would avoid it at all costs. But today I went in there, I said I'm just going to give it my best, and whatever happens is what happens. This is my first LAN tournament for any game ever. The environment is amazing. Epic Games does an amazing job with everything from the viewing area outside to down here. I never had a problem with any of my setup or anything. Like it was amazing. Like I was genuinely and happily surprised. I did not think that I would be standing here, to be honest. My expectation was to place today. I gave that my expectation was to get into the nightly qualifiers and to do my best. Whatever happens from there, I gave it my all. The weak spots that players are having right now is that they are playing much too passive. If you watch even Ghost Aiden yesterday, he was rushing everybody. He didn't care. People, when they see that you're confident, they get less confident. That's like the main thing that I exploited today, and I plan on doing tomorrow.
Confidence is key. The big takeaway there that I learned from Tyler's, he had it yesterday. It's a big reason why he finished in that top spot.
He even mentioned doing something that a lot of these competitive players have taken very much to heart, and that's analyzing the gameplay of their opponents. He mentioned that Aiden, another player that we saw go absolutely crazy a number of games, he was just playing more aggressive, and Tyler's has analyzed that. He's seen it and kind of adapted it into his own play style. You could tell just from his own gameplay, it's paid off exponentially.
Absolutely, yeah, and it shows right there. We've talked so much about how aggression pays off. He mentioned Aiden too. Different play styles because of the rule set we have this weekend. Playing passively and going for victory royales can be your key to success. Playing high energy, going for those early elims could be the key to victory. But either way, we have a ridiculous day ahead. It cannot be stressed enough. Get involved in the conversation on social media. Use the hashtag SummerSkirmish. Give us your predictions. We set it back on day 1. We're here on the final day. This is your last shot to show everybody that you called who was going to win today. And again, these events would not be possible without our incredible partners. We'd like to extend our thanks to Logitech, Astro Gaming, and Respawn Products for supplying the peripherals and gaming chairs here at PAX. Major thanks to you guys because, again, these events, so incredible. If you've been here to experience in person, you just see this is unmatched in esports right now. What a blast.
It's absolutely insane. And if you're here in Seattle, if you're at PAX West, do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Come down to Lot 73. That's where everything's happening. We got 6 games today to play out. The story today is going to be incredible. And I thought, honestly, Courage, I thought after day 1, it was so exciting. I thought to myself, there's no way that can get better than this. And then day 2 happened, and we had even crazier plays. And then day 3 happened, and we saw Chat versus Tfue multiple times in a single game. We saw players come back from just barely missing out on points in a previous match to absolutely annihilating the follow-up. And people improving their gameplay even on the spot. I'd like to point out players like Tempo, Hysteria, they played in previous days, heats and qualifiers, and we've watched them kind of even evolve as players within just this weekend, realizing the mistakes that they're making. Those are signs of extremely competitive players, but it's not just the competitive side that's represented here. There are one-offs. There are people that we haven't seen on the summer skirmish side or competitive plays, scrims maybe you've watched online. There are people that are showing up out of the woodwork, and those stories are ones that are incredibly important as well. I could not be happier if someone that was not tied to any team, anything like that, no disrespect intended to anybody, but imagine one of those guys came away with $100,000+ at the end of the day.
It would be quite the life-changing experience. Either way, there's been so many announcements, so many things going on this weekend. If you've been watching, you know, each day we've been teasing a little bit of the upcoming high-stakes limited time mode, and obviously the getaway and everything coming along with that. Today we have more to show you guys as well. Again, Fortnite presents high stakes. Yesterday we took a first look at the getaway limited time mode and the new item, the Grappler. Today, we've got the free high-stakes challenges and rewards you can unlock for completing them. High-stakes launches this week at Fortnite. See you there. And again, here's a look at them. Deal 500 damage to jewel-carrying opponents. Again, something completely unique. That's the spray you earn, and then pick up a jewel in 5 different matches of the getaway to earn the contrail. A look at it there. We saw it in the gameplay yesterday. That looked fire. You complete all the challenges. The brand new pickaxe, the crowbar right there. I'm doing that right away. When that goes live, I'm doing that right away.
So you have to don't forget to start the stream, Courage. I know you're excited. The LTM will be there. Okay, you just got to wait the 2 minutes. Get ready. You know, get it into your
do my little dance
game. Exactly.
No, we'll definitely be live for that. Don't worry, guys. Without further ado, I'd like to begin to get ready for our first game with our look at our finalists. 99 of the best Fortnite players in the world competing here today. What are some big names on this first page, Luke?
I don't even know where to begin with the list of players that are playing today. You have names like Nate Hill and the rest of FaZe Clan. In fact, 5 out of 5 players from FaZe qualified for these grand finals. 72 Hours from Liquid, who we saw put on a show. You don't need materials. You don't even need HP. All you need is a drum gun and a dream, and you can push around outside and rotate on your opponent. The thought processes that go through these players' minds is incredible. You got C9, Alliance, World's Best Gaming, Trouble Boys, teams, countless teams, Envy. It's incredible.
And then on page 2 here you see Sentinel's Animal. He was one of the 2 players who have had 10+ Elim games. Ghost Aiden was right there with him as well. Saf, who's done well in the summer skirmishes prior to this, continuing to put his name up there. Ghost Bizzle, a big name with that Ghost Gaming organization who've seen so much success this weekend. Heading out of the other side of the list, number 59 spot, Liquid Poach. Arguably a competitive fan favorite to potentially win the event this weekend. We'll see how he performs today. And then this was from last night, and I'm just going to quickly run through. FaZe Tempo, Tfue, Hysteria, Chap, Geomach. You look, C9 Blind is on this list. Flower from Rogue. It does not. And what a stacked lineup we have heading into today, competing for the 1.5 million.
On top of that, you have players that are playing on a controller. You have players that are playing on keyboard and mouse.
Yes.
Nick Merckx is going to put on a show in Tilted Towers. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And the best part is he's not alone. Aiden was consistently dropping Tilted in his games, which means these two might end up having a little face-off at the beginning of almost every single game if they both trend to where they're used to, where they're comfortable going.
And I know a lot of people were talking to Nick about Aiden, being like, hey, look, fellow controller player, showing up big time, putting up some big numbers. Nick was here, and he wants to go ahead and provide his own stuff. Speaking with Nick actually last night, he mentioned we didn't kind of see the one game he had 6 Elims. He was trailing someone in the storm. hits him 3 times to drop him to 1 HP, and the Storm eliminated them for a 7th elim. So that's how he missed out on that free final 3rd point. Either way, Nick did well yesterday. So much competition. Let us know who you think's going to take it home. I got to ask you, now that we know our 99 players, who's the favorite?
I mean, I'm part of Rogue. I got to pull for Double Flower, but at the same time, I mean, you have the list of players is incredible. I'd love to see a number of these guys run into each other. Chap, Tfue, 72 Hours. Imagine all of them in a ball together, stuck in the same 1x1. I wouldn't even know where to begin, to be honest with you.
That's the incredible thing about this live crowd. Yesterday, when Chap and Tfue began to kind of battle it out, we would just set the tone. We would swap the perspective, and everyone would take those couple seconds to realize who's about to actually fight, and you'd hear everyone here begin to cheer like, oh my gosh, here we go. 2 Titans in competitive Fortnite about to go at it. Again, if you have never watched Fortnite in this style gameplay before, it is very different from your normal, let's play some solos or duos at home. These lobbies will be stacked with players from top to bottom who are at the top 1% in skill, and it changes how it's played too. You're going to see as we get towards those later zones, instead of there being like 10, 15 players left, well, there's going to be like 40, Lupo.
Very different. And like you said, these competitive lobbies, if you're looking to improve your own gameplay, these are the kind of matches to watch. You're going to see people changing their trajectory depending on who's going to be around them. Rotations for these are incredibly important, and players know the trends, where other players tend to go, where to gather the best, the best material locations, still come away with a number of chests. Because dropping directly into POIs is not the most common way to play these. People play safe, especially because the top 10 gets you a single point, and 1 and 2 eliminations, while those help with tiebreakers, which don't get me wrong, those are incredibly important, the points matter.
Oh yeah,
points matter big time.
And the crazy thing too is a lot of these guys have experience playing against each other in some of these solo scrim lobbies. They know Liquid Chap likes to land whaling. Tfue likes to land down in the desert area in kind of the outskirts of Paradise. They're going to keep that in mind when they're going for their drops. You saw Tempo the whole day yesterday was going Snobby Shores. Hysteria loves to go Greasy. Nick Mertz loves to go Tilted. You can kind of see how the minds of these players are going to be running with, okay, we know, well, this guy's here, this guy's here. I've got to be a little bit careful on exactly where I drop.
As a competitive player, do you think that they're going to make choices and decide to go to those locations thinking, you know what, I think I can beat Chap or Nick Merckx or whoever trends, like you said, Hysteria goes to Greasy quite a bit. Do you think players are going to choose to go to those locations specifically to try and get an engagement against somebody that they may think they have an upper hand on?
Maybe early on. Maybe early on. We'll have to see. There's Saint, who had a pop-off celebration the other day. Everyone's in the lobby. They're getting ready. A look at the beautiful stations they have there. Folks, the battle bus is launching. It is time. In the next 6 games, we will find out, well, who is a hell of a lot richer. Let's get into it. Game number 1. Who will come out on top? Remember, Victory Royale. You win this game, you automatically win $25,000. But let's be honest, everyone here is already a winner this week.
And you see in the bottom right, we're going to rotate through a number of top performers from the previous qualifiers just to take a look at where everybody's dropping. The map already getting a pretty solid spread. You got a lot of players. I mean, this is a bus straight across the middle, basically, which means everywhere is eligible. Snobby Shores, you see players dropping outside over the coast again to try and get as low as possible.
Ooh, Tilted. Tilted's actually very light landing, only 4 players.
4. One is rotating in from Shifty, actually completely unoccupied. I would almost, you see one is cutting back over the river, potentially seeing nobody else is going there, saying, okay, I'll gladly take all the loot. Let's go get as many as we can.
There's Tempo and Snobby. No surprise there. Morgoss had some crazy scenarios in his day of playing. If you remember, so low HP, was able to get some elims when you thought it wasn't possible. 99 players in this lobby. And no surprise here, Aiden is in Tilted. The man who surprised so many people, said the other day was arguably the best day of his life. And look at Nick Merckx, already tagged up and weak and Tilted. We'll keep an eye on him later on, but this is in Viking Village. Saf going up against Cryo. Cryo, if you remember last night, won a coin flip to make it on in today.
A lot to see here up against Ghost. Saf is an excellent player, very, very good at quick reactions and quick edits, and Cryo hopefully can take advantage of his coin flip. Does not make it out the first game here. Viking Village pretty ruthless when it comes to loot at times. The building's there's a lot of tight quarters. They're playing out in the open though, and the exposure costs Cryo.
This is Jack from United going up against Bartonologist. You see using that ramp edit to get a clear view. Tries to farm some extra materials, doesn't quite get a chance yet.
See the feed poach picking up an elimination.
It's on the Posey. This Jack clears out that sight line. Still just watching his back for a second. I don't think, does he know Bartonologist is
he might not
right on the other side of this wall? Yeah, Bartonologist is just looking for the drop here. He's just waiting. It looks like there's an engagement about to go down. Bartonologist peeking the corner. Hasn't jumped out yet.
Well, he's got it.
That blue submachine gun, though, can absolutely shred this early on. He does have a health disadvantage at the moment. Trying to break on in. Maybe get a sight line of his opponent down low. Is he hiding into the pyramid? He is. He uses that time to pop under their shield, it appears. As now you've got to think Jack has a ton of health advantage and gets the hip fire spread. Beautifully done from him. Yeah, he popped a big shield to go to 200 HP. And that's when it's kind of out of reach for Bartonologist.
It looked like it took just a couple crits there with the AR midair on his opponent, Bartonologist. Now this is the fight. I saw the elimination of the feed, but here's Posey going down to Liquid Poach up here. Oh, a quick midair burst. The only weapon Poach was sitting on, a gray burst, and that was enough.
Now, just north of Flush Factory, you see Takada looking for where exactly Snood could be. Very low on materials. At least he's quite healthy at 175 HP. Snood had a major disadvantage there. Looks like he'll go ahead and just kind of leave this build for now. Maybe try to farm up some trees. Get himself some wood here, Lupo, to build.
Didn't want to get caught in a 1v1 in a tight quarter situation against Snood. Not enough materials early game to engage inside a building. Players typically use like a wall or a ramp mid-fight to stop even just a single shotgun blast if the timing is perfect. You saw there quickly the circle Courage almost perfectly centered, maybe a little south side, which means pretty much everybody, unless you're maybe in Junction or the very top right, the northeast corner, is going to have to, they have plenty of time to farm up materials, which means I would expect late game fights to be very competitive. Typically, if the circle is shifted hard to one side or the other, you know, top, bottom, east, west, wherever it is go, if it's very far away from players, those players are almost easy pickings just because they don't have the materials. And in competitive games, Courage materials you almost choose over anything else.
Turkey Lips, who led day one with eliminations in the qualifiers, looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Catches trouble was X is off guard there through the doorway. Looks like J Cuddy's trying to bait with the trap here. Somebody must be in the area. World's Best Gaming's Unicorn rotating around the outside. I think I saw him yesterday wearing actually like a rainbow sweatshirt. It's pretty cool.
Nobody with 2 limbs yet. And again, to set the tone for just how crazy these games are, how different they are from what you're used to playing at home. There is still 78 players left in the lobby, and the first zone is about to begin to push. That was Punisher cutting down his opponent there. But yeah, look at that, Lupo. I mean, at home, right? You probably have, what, 35 players left at this point? Maybe 30? 78. I think players are taking the passive route for this start to today.
Now, there's a high number of players that have 1 elimination. Nobody right now has 2 currently. Horrify goes down to Mac from Soar. The accuracy on the shotgun shots from all of these players today looks fantastic, which means it's gonna come down to who makes a mistake first.
Goodness. Look at the ramp block from Aiden onto Crunch. He blocks the rocket, it damages Crunch, and then he follows up with the elim there. Aiden still in a good spot. Nick Merck still alive. These two, the 2 kings of Tilted that we've seen so far this week.
It does make me wonder. We've seen players analyze each other's gameplay. Aiden most likely very aware that Nick Merckx goes to, I'm going to be honest, the same building almost every single time. Do you think he's purposely avoiding an engagement if possible?
Listen, Aiden's gone basically everywhere around there, but in the engagement feed, Eman just took down Tempo from last night phase of the 4 games. Phase 1, 3 of them. This was actually Tyler's in an engagement with Painful PvP, and right now Painful looks like he had all the advantage, and yeah, he did. Tyler's down early, our kind of outspoken player from yesterday. Unfortunately drops here early in game 1.
Now there's still 5 games left for these players, even after this one has been completed. So a bad game or 2, it doesn't spell the end.
Is this Nick versus Aiden? Is this Nick versus Aiden?
Shot to Nick Merckx goes down. Aiden says, "Welcome to Tilted."
And there, oh, Aiden let him know.
I gotta say it, hi Twitter.
That honestly. Right there, folks, is what it's all about. Aiden knowing the reputation of Nick Merckx. Nick Now seeing a new controller player trying to claim his tilted area. And, well, I feel like that's a battle we're going to see a lot today, Lupo.
Psalm building up against, I believe it is it Levake here up in the sky. A lot of layers here, and there's a kind of a third player potentially entering, maybe 3 or 4. They're very exposed right here. I'm surprised. I was going to say, I'm surprised no one has begun shooting down the structure here. It looked like it was built extremely vertically. They're kind of exposed.
Yep.
Psalm's got to be very careful that it doesn't look like he has a bounce pad. I would expect him to kind of have it out. Aiden has just claimed Tilted Towers as his own. Takes out.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are about 15 players at least who have won a limb in this game. Aiden, the only one at 3, has earned our first point today. Aiden continues his tear as he has claimed Tilted Towers. We said 4 people landed there at the start of this game. Everyone was eliminated by Aiden as he's now at 3.
The zone is starting to, it's going to have to start pushing players in. You're going to see people that are, this is kind of the beginning of the mix-up. You know, chaos typically happens. The storm closing now. We're going to see where the next circle is. It's centered over Tilted Towers, which means Aiden doesn't even have to move.
He's big chilling right now. There's a drop coming on in as well. Aiden's thought process, it looked like he basically said, you know what? I know Nick Merckx is going to go Big Gray. I'm going to land at double L's, loot Big Red, loot the new building, and then once I have everything I could ever want, then I'll challenge Nick at Big Gray. And it worked out perfectly for him there. He's still maxed on HP. Here's Boyer, who we just saw pop a medkit to get to full health. Over to Marcides now on the edge of the football or soccer stadium. So he's trying to spot this player. You hear listening for those audio cues. It's actually WBG Punisher who took down Tempo earlier on.
In the feed, Tfue takes an elimination there on Powder from Alliance. That is his first elim. Poach still has one. The list of players that are sitting on 1 elimination now is monstrous. Jay Cuddy actually has 2, but still Aiden, the only one, you see the board there, only one with 3. The only player with a single. Aiden actually just picked up his 4th elimination, which puts him 1 away from a second point.
I mean, can this man be stopped?
The engagement down here, though. He's trying to drop the structure down. Looking, you see that you can even hear the fall damage right there. That should be a cue.
He caught on the 1 layer of a ramp, though, which kept the high ground for his opponent. And now Marcides knows just how tough of a situation he's in. Trying to get the quick edit to peek on out. Can't get the structure shut down in time. He's wearing a great shirt, though, so I'll give him that either way. Punisher with the elim.
Style matters, but the points are everything, Courage. Unicorn, Sakairos, very small. They're 2 floors away from each other. This is Aiden's 4th elimination earlier. A rotation in and lasers. Absolutely lasers. That gold AR is incredibly powerful. A Chap building up here. It did look like Aiden picked up a Chug Jug right as he cut away, which means he's full health, full shield, ready for the next engagement. He's still safe inside the zone, but Chap here, just on the west side of Dusty Divot, stuck in a 1v1. But we've seen Chap build. We've seen Chap take advantage of height and all of the structure here that he has ownership of, and we're going to watch players still continue to do that. They're going to break out anything they can, take ownership of it. He puts the pyramid up to block any push. The player underneath, he's just trying to keep Chap away. And I'm going to be honest with you, Courage. A player like Chap, I don't think that's necessarily going to work.
No.
Chap is going to look for an angle, the weak spot in his players, the way that they're developing this strategy against him. He's going to take advantage of it. I almost expect at this point maybe a drop down, a knockout, and Chap to go just for a shot in mid-air. He's got dualies as well.
Quickly to mention, United's Jack just knocked out Liquid Poach from this first game. So Poach eliminated with about 61 players left. This is by far the slowest game we've had to this point this week. That many people are still in play. Here goes the battle. Chap versus this enemy inside Dusty Divot. Both players getting hit heavy, and Kayoon. Well, Chap falls right on into the window, and well, Kayoon's shotgun wins that engagement there.
Both players, it looked like we're going for the floor replacement. Kane got it and dropped Chap in. Now the rift to go, typically not necessarily taken by your opponent, but Dremon says, you can't get away from me. He's going to drop down.
He also got the zone pushing.
Fly in. Yeah.
He had the zone there as well. Might as well just go ahead and skirt on out of there. Tilted Towers looks like it will soon be the only thing in play. And folks, Aiden has 10 minis and a Chug Jug. Could not ask for more shield healing. He's near maxed on each type of material. Gold heavy shotgun, gold legendary assault rifle, the legendary assault rifle, sorry. I mean, this man is set up for success here.
Lavic rotating around the outside, drops on the outside. Looks like Sakairos didn't see him drop on the outside, place the platform, and the shotgun shot there secures an elimination just outside the zone, too. Ilchase taking shots, trying to drop the structure of his opponent before they rotate in. He's just hanging out outside the storm, but it's only ticket for one, so it's not enough damage to worry about, but he has to build himself in. His opponent got a top down on him, got the height advantage, but he has the ability to edit out. Going to take ownership of that ramp in the middle, or at least just get it out of the way so his opponent doesn't have it. Building these little catacombs, trying to, it's a way to have your opponent lose track of your location. The replays from FaZe, he's still on top of him. Still watching, trying to grab. These players are fighting back and forth constantly for who owns what surface. The shots coming in through the angle to edit there, and Replays gets quite a bit of damage. Maybe enough to push in, and he does. The shotgun and a fight inside the box and takes Ilchase out. 2 eliminations for Replays now.
Beautifully done by Replays. He'll be rewarded with a medkit to get to full HP. While this was going on, 0 players have yet to hit 3 elims outside of Aiden. And while that fight was going on, Aiden actually moved up to 5 eliminations now at 2 points earned this game. Jay Cuddy just earned his 3rd elim to put him at 1 point as well. Apparently Aiden's 5th elim was actually a trap that he left behind in a building in Tilted, and someone ran right through it.
That's not the first time he's done that either. During his qualifiers, that his 8th elimination in the 2nd game came from a trap as he was rotating to the west.
Remember that is incredible.
I love
8 elimination 2nd game heading west.
I specifically remember where it happened too.
Okay, Looper, jeez, it's that dad brain right there. You're showing it up. I love it. As Aiden, he's got another player close. He's got a launch pad at his inventory as well. Tilted will be out of play soon. You see, as he enters each room, he checks the roof for any traps. Make sure he can't sprint on in.
And the feed down there, Replays from FaZe going down to Kayun, who just took out, I believe, Liquid Chat before that. That is a stack of eliminations to be proud of right there. Jack from EU with 3 elims, Jay Cuddy still 3 elims, and Aiden with 5. That's 3 players currently with points. Aiden having 2, the others 1 apiece. Looks like Aiden has a player on the inside, and you're trying to take ownership of the wall so he can get the edit off. They're just holding on tight. He's going to have to rotate around, potentially on top, or push up the stairs, change the angle of engagement. Pro players are typically very aware, these highly competitive players, very aware of appropriate times to disengage and get it up on another angle, but Aiden gets dropped out from underneath. His opponent just lasering down any structure he's got. The AR shots, it's not as fast as an SMG, but it's enough to take structure out. Aiden's only building 1 layer at a time. The third party from behind, maybe tunnel visioning on the opponent that was in front of him, just pushing, losing track of the fact that somebody else was watching. There are other players there. You got to start looking for those little towers.
He's playing for having as much health as possible for the next fight. Get a chug jug here for the extra 50 shield, as there's a ton of fights going on around him. That was Boyer who just cut down Cease. You got Lanane from Envy down there in the river. Does Aiden continue this aggressive play? Looks like he will. He wants this right away, Lupo.
Tyler's even analyzed it earlier in the interview. Is Coyotes, we mentioned it earlier in the feed, eliminating Replays, and here's the actual engagement. Taking a top down here, he's going for ownership of these structures so he can get the edit. These are my walls, and he wants the shot whenever he wants the shot. Here it is, 153.
Can't ask for much more from your shotgun. Right there, as we head back to the action, you're tilted. Looks like Aiden's trying to build on up and match his opponent. Boyer, I think, has slipped on out of that lower box. He will have to move quite far for this next zone. This end game really near 0 areas of interest. You see kind of in the river, and how awkward is this? It's 2 cliffs and a low valley.
Look at how dense this circle is. This rotation is going to cut a lot of players out.
There's 49 players left. 49.
This is the most we've seen, I guarantee you, at this circle. 53 seconds and people have to move, and this is potentially a time for Aiden to shine. He might be on the outside of the circle, Jack, but you have an option here to not worry about placement, go for 2 more eliminations, and secure 3 points very early in this event. It could be big.
Here's Vape Jesus, one of our players on the verge of earning 3 elims. All these players stacked up in these builds. It's like Saps in a fight here, dropped to just 50 HP, but he does have a slurp ticket.
Just so people are aware, looking at the map right now. Oh, the rocket from Saf down through the edited hole gets Vape Jesus underneath him. That's 2 eliminations. But on the map right now, there's one player on the far west side that is not moving. I would almost anticipate it's somebody that has a rift to go. Brandon from GS, who came in second in an engagement against 72 Hours. We saw that outside of the zone rotation on Brandon, but he's saying this is my time to shine. He's trying to track Bizzle down and Fuzzy simultaneously. 3 players stuck in the structure, and he's going to tunnel his way out. That the layers over the top to protect from any above shot. Waiting. The jump shot on Fuzzy gets his first element. Brandon's going to maybe look for a second. His shots come in. He's rotating inside the storm. It's such an important piece of this is to maintain forward movement. You don't want to get caught outside. Players will take advantage of that.
Remember, that opponent now hears that audible shield tag, knowing his shields are gone. I'm down to just normal HP now. Going to go ahead and wait on out as he'll have to back up. I think the tree kind of blocked him on his rush on up there. Down to 42 players left in the lobby. This game is going to escalate very, very quickly. I can promise you that. Brandon just sitting inside this box. Used all his materials though, Lupo. Down to just 32. He's got no shields left. This is one of those awkward scenarios where he's just hoping people forget about him.
Jack, there's 42 players left in the circle, and it's time to move. North side is where everybody's got to go, which means if you're going to south like Sinfully here, you're going to have to fight your way out and see what you can do. Rockets coming in. There's going to be a lot of this happening. People going for splash damage eliminations. They got any structure they can, and Hysteria trying to get an elimination at the zone there, but Saf secures it on Sinful. 0 elans thus far for Hysteria. Look at these players. They're all poised to strike on each other, waiting for literally anybody to move, anybody to make a mistake. We've got 60 seconds left and 40 players still alive.
Hysteria played in each day of the qualifiers to get to this point. Wind up getting in late last night and basically the final game. Here with a ton of materials left, he's just trying to peek on out and find this basically free limb as he's looking to maybe third party a fight. Does get heavily tagged twice. Not happy to be in this scenario now, I can promise you that.
He's got enough materials maybe to push against this here for a little while. 38 remaining, 30 seconds left until the zone moves, and then I'm telling you, when this thing starts, this is when chaos ensues. The zone move is one of the deadliest moments in games.
And it's
like this.
down this mountain too for all these players up top.
Everybody's got to slide.
Yeah. Jumpman does have 2 launch pads, which I'm expecting him to use here. Going to fly right on into that next zone. He's already got the natural height over it. You hear continuous tags. I think that is Hysteria being sprayed by like 3 or 4 people right now. United's Jack just got his 4th elimination of the game as he's looking to catch up to Aiden. Aiden was eliminated earlier on. We've now got 5 players with a point on the board. Looks like these were 2 players fighting earlier on, Lupo and Shifty.
This kind of shows just how
they both fell.
Don't stick the landing on the way in. This kind of shows how players are.
Oh no! Oh no!
You see in the feed, Jumpman eliminating Aiden. We at least know who
hit his head
went down to
on a tree and was knocked down. Here's that move we mentioned, down into the river. What an ending to this first zone. Hysteria there. You see the shotgun elimination on the knees. 32 players still remaining. Typically at this point we're at like 13, 14 players, and we're at 31.
This is a good example of how high the nerves are here.
He's got to drop.
We have cheers from the crowd here for that one.
He's got remote explosives and a rocket.
That's huge. Against all the players that are playing incredibly slow, they're all built up in structures. Explosives are going to be, I mean, that could be game-changing. He could come away with a bunch of eliminations, even just to knocking structures down with that. And he's going to start pushing up. He's going to get up top of the zone. He owns all of this, too. You see he's making quick edits on pretty much every piece he's moving through. And this is Hysteria's first elimination thus far today in game 1. An opponent, surprise, falls inside and catches Nice off guard.
You know, that's when the double barrel is quite good, just as a pro tip, when they're inches in front of your face.
Literally right there.
Yes. Here we go, folks. Our move to our next zone about to begin. Sifu has been inching across all of this build. I was wondering how he's going to do this with little materials. Somehow he's claimed This entire top area, it seems. Nate Hill still in it. J-O-Mock still in it. Here we go. This game is about to escalate very quickly. The moves coming from everybody now. Chris to limbs. Can he earn his third to put a point on the board? Gorilla just cut down J-O-Mock. You see Nate Hill using the bounce pad. Everyone surging forward. The common enemy of everyone is this storm. And you can see they're all afraid with how much damage it does. Somehow Tfue not being shot. He's made it on in and secured a nice little structure to heal on up.
Literally no one wants to engage anybody else right there. You saw Tfue drop the C4. I think the idea is if somebody's pushing up underneath him, he can edit it out and drop the C4 down. Brandon gets caught off guard. And Jack secures his 6th elimination and
He's got a med kit now. He's got to use this right away. The zone is 25 seconds. Pop that med kit. Get above 6 HP. Tfue one elim away from earning himself a point. Remember, top 10 in the game earned themselves a point as well.
No fall damage. Honestly, kind of surprisingly, so many explosives.
He's out of materials. I think he's just got to kind of go for this. That's all of his mats left.
One more elim is a point for Tfue, and he's going to look for one. There's still 10 players that are that have to go down before rank matters for points, which means now's the time, and he gets it, catches, shrugs off guard through a little tiny window. That green drum gun coming in, and another one. Tfue going for his 4th elimination.
He's got to move. The zone is there. He's got to move. He's trapped on in. Tfue choking on out. The storm ticking for so much, and there he goes. Tfue out from game 1 as the storm claims another victim.
You got Nate Hill basically sitting on nothing, no HP, no shield in the bottom, and he had some minis. He's going to patch himself up. Lemaine stuck inside, basically in the middle of the, there's a player sandwich here. 11 left, one more goes down. Everybody that's left alive gets 1 point minimum.
Whoever is a limb next, heartbreaking stuff, as they will be just on the verge of a free point. I know one thing, Nate Hill has no plans of peeking on out with that little HP left. 3 medkits for Morgoth, so you've got to think he's in a good spot if this goes to a heal-off. Uh-oh. Fight about to go down. Morgoth with a shot. There it is. We're now into our top 10. A quick trade.
Trades happening back and forth.
The hype there, that was 3 limbs, and he made it to the top 10. That's 2 points there. Landjock, we mentioned, you can have all sorts of play styles. This one, not go for any fights. He's in 6th place with 0 limbs, but he's out of mats. He's full of the bottom. It's time to rip back up.
He pulled 2 other players with him. 3 are on their way down from the top.
Right away.
He's gonna. I think the goal is to try and land as fast as possible.
No, he's gonna rip again. Oh my God! No! Oh. That was almost 200 IQ. It could come back to
Gets the shot on Gorilla.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Trades going down. Nate Hill with an elim. Prodigy Aces. Looks like he's got the high ground right now. Only 1 elim to his name. And remember, top 3 earned 2 points. He's made it. 2 points now earned. So many medkits. The storm is pushing on in. This is it. I believe it's going to come down to a heal off right now. Player shooting from above. He doesn't have time to heal. It's Nate Hill, and I don't think Nate has any health left. He's got 1 HP. He's trying to break down. He doesn't have the time. This should be it. He's got 1 extra tick of HP. And there's the victory for Landjock. As he can't believe it, it was 18 health to 1 health. Literally 1 tick of the zone made the difference. And the sigh of relief there. Congratulations. That's a 3-point game.
Absolutely ridiculous. Nate, at this point, his only option was to try and shoot or pickaxe his way down, get a shot in the fall, and it didn't matter. Landjock had a layer ahead above him. There was no option there.
He was done for anyway. You saw trying to pickaxe down. He was getting that thing where it just wasn't letting him actually hit the structure, which made him have to panic shoot. He didn't have a shot there anyway. 1 HP. Didn't. If he gets that elim and drops those medkits down a little bit earlier on, as the zone's closing, he might have time to pop the full 10-second medkit, but there was only like 9 seconds left on the clock, so 1 tick would have dropped him, and he knew that. He had to go for it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him there.
Jack, if the rest of the games today go like this, I don't know if I can handle it. This has been, we saw more players alive per circle than we've ever seen in any of the previous games, and players are trying to play so securely. They're holding hands during rotations. You saw Tfue got walled out from an opponent that he was chasing up because they were putting layers and layers down behind them just as an effort to stop anybody from getting in. It wasn't an aggressive engagement. It was defensive play to see if the Storm could take any more eliminations, with them closer to a top 10, even for just 1 point.
Well, back in game one, it all began with Aiden raining terror on the tilted towers. We've got to look back at that to begin. Look at this ramp to block the rocket, the quick follow-up, and there it is. The player, I think, tried to port-a-fort, but unfortunately landed above him. And then Aiden, once he got to full HP, said, you know what, I know exactly where Nick Murphs will be, and I'm going to go for it right off the bat. Nick only able to tag him for 7. The crowd definitely made some noise there, as he didn't stop at all. He continues to hold forward. He wants to bring the fights to his opponents and get right in their face.
That's multiple window peak engagements from Aiden, taking advantage of every little bit of cover he could. Catches another player off guard as they rotate in through a building. You saw they went for the defensive build too to block him out, but it wasn't enough. The 72 damage crit, it'll almost jar players. That amount of damage that fast, it's the same effect as maybe getting hit by a hunting rifle shot or a sniper during a rotation. You get frazzled very quickly, and you'll see players build defensively, and sometimes it's not enough, especially when you have accuracy like that.
Oh, for sure. And that's just the look at some of Aiden's plays. There's obviously so many other players out there. Kayun had, I believe, eliminated Chap, then went on to take down Replays as well. So 2 bigger names. This was the battle versus Chap that we followed for quite a little bit. It was the one window edit that drops Chap on in. Come on, my friend, and Chap was not ready for it at all.
Versus Replays the box inside, and Kane's trying to take advantage. He'd take ownership of the structures above. He goes for it and forces kind of a rotation out. Players will see ownership change of the structures, and they'll make moves to get away, to say, okay, you think I'm inside there and I'm not anymore, and Replays caught off guard. Almost Kane saw ahead. Predicting other players' movements is huge for these guys, and couldn't pull it off that time, but a valiant effort. He earned 3 eliminations. That's a single point, and he should feel fantastic about that. That's more than we've seen in the previous qualifiers, people that have advanced to today.
Yep.
So every point counts. Every point counts.
Yeah, well, we actually, at the end of the game, had a crazy, crazy little rift to go play. And remember, when you pop that rift, there's like a little verticality element to it. Well, pull people in with you. So he drops on down. Landjock uses it, sucks 2 people up with him. Then you see here, it was Nate, Landjock, and Prodigy Aces. Landjock decides, I'm going to drop on down to try to take the rift again to resecure the high ground. And literally the second he goes to sprint into it, it goes away. Shortly after, he does get that elim, but then his traded fight, or sorry, it's what keeps him alive then to stay alive and then go on to win that game. That was the one elim he needed.
The awareness from Gorilla right there, even though he didn't get the elimination, just as the second he heard the mini get popped, the sound of the shield, he opted to edit the stairs, push in through, and try and go for the elimination, and Landjock, the accuracy in that double barrel, it just hits like a bus.
It most certainly does. I actually do believe we have Landjock, our Victory Royale winner from Game 1. We forgot to mention, he just won $25,000. I don't even know if he knows. We'll go ahead and throw it on over to Zeke in the players area.
What's up, guys? Awesome cast. I am here with Landjock, who just, as you witnessed, he riffed on the goat 3 players, and he gets the victory out. You just won $25,000. How are you feeling, man?
Man, yeah, that was amazing. I didn't think I was going to win, but the guy ended up dying to fall damage, and I got it, so. Oh, bro. I don't know.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the next few games?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try to win another one, but I'm glad with what I already did today, so.
Now, did you know that you were going to rift those 3 players? Because everyone at PAX is watching this, right? And so the moment you jump down, you activate the rift on the go. Literally, PAX erupts because they're like, you just pulled 2 other people. You dive down and you take someone else out who's like, oh, there's a rift here. And then you just blast them. How did you know they were there?
No, I just knew I didn't want to die, so I did it. And I saw 2 people with me, so I'm like, well, I'm going to try to go down. And it worked, so.
That's awesome, dude. Any strategies you've got going into the next few games?
I'm just trying not to die. I'm playing for placement, so just gonna try to survive as long as I can.
Dude, best of luck. Congrats on the victory out for the first and the 25,000, dude. Good luck in the rest of the games. Courage.
Boys, brilliant, brilliant stuff. You mentioned $25,000, Richard, but Landjock sticking to his kind of game plan. I want to survive. I'm playing my life, and it worked out perfectly there. Literally the only limb he had to get, he was forced. Like he had no option but to fight him there.
Yeah, and it's funny, the playing to stay alive, it seems like he's not the only one. We've seen circles with 40, 50 plus players remaining, and the number of builds that happen during a storm rotation, when the circle starts to move, that's one of the deadliest moments in the game. You literally see the field get cut in half.
100%.
Because people we saw multiple players eliminated by fall damage at the same time, rotating over Shifty. We saw people landing inside boxes next to each other, not realizing that there's 1, 2, 3 players above them, and they're forced into engagements. And right now I feel like people don't want that. People are trying to avoid fights because there's a chance if they miss a shot, if they don't build at just the right time, any little mistake is gonna cost them.
So something tells me this isn't the last time we're gonna see these last zones go down to the storm claiming the final limb, right? I feel like this is gonna be the theme of today.
Strap in. It's going to happen more than once. And honestly, it's so exciting and so hectic. There's so much happening. The top-down angles that we're getting on these it's incredible because you can really see it's a stampede of players pushing to try and get inside the next zone. And it's not always shots that are determining who stays alive, who makes it to the top 10 and gets a point. It's appropriate builds. It's intelligent positioning. It's foresight and reading your opponents, and it's happening every single time. These players are processing information so fast.
So much stuff going on. It's crazy. As we get the next lobby ready, we will be hopping into game number 2 very, very shortly. I can see it getting updated on my screen. But there's so much stuff going on. Families here attending this event. We actually caught up with a father and son Fortnite fans. Let's hear what they had to say.
My name's Sean Shevlin, and my gamer tag is YoungPrism98912. We're from the Portland, Oregon area. And this is my son, Rylan, and he plays under the same gamer tag, but he earns all the points. So you had heard about it at school?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he kept begging me and begging me and begging me to play. So finally I told him if he did his homework for 2 weeks straight and didn't whine about it, we would download it and he could play. And so we did that, and he started playing, and now I play a pretty good amount with him. And I teach high school math also, and so I brought it into my classroom actually a lot, and the kids love it. So like this week we did a lesson on graphing, and I took the Fortnite map and we did quadrants and we graphed on there. So that was another reason I came up, I was like, I'm going to tell all my students that I competed in summer skirmish. My go-to strategy is camping. Where do you like to land?
Tilted Towers.
Oh, my favorite gun, the 1-bolt action sniper, because I am a terrible shooter. So if I can't get you in one shot, I'm probably dead.
I like the clingers because you can just like throw it at someone and it just like sticks them, and then they just blow up.
I really want to win $5,000. I feel like I might have a chance of making it through some qualifiers, and maybe I can get there. So
you're gonna get wrecked.
Absolutely awesome stuff to see there. I wish I was able to use Fortnite in my high school math, but instead it didn't go well.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's why you're casting.
No shame in hiding behind the desk curves. That's fine.
There we go.